And we're live. Good evening, good morning, to everyone all around the world. Uh, Jeremy and I are here to talk about the army lists and the matchups for our March of Death GT
Make some
here in Hamilton
incredibly
this
wrong
weekend.
prediction, completely uneducated
Oh, yeah.
Assumptions.
Yes, absolutely. So nothing we say tonight is to be taken
Yes.
seriously. This is all just in good fun.
Uh-huh.
We'll skewer and build up
I love
everyone.
you all. You are
Yes,
all amazing players. You're gentlemen. You're gentle ladies. You're scholars.
but we may make a few jokes at your expense tonight.
That is true.
Some of you may deserve it. Some of you may not. But you're all equal and under our eyes. So this weekend we have the King. Sorry, not the King Beyond the Wall. This is the first time we've done March of Death, which is our second annual GT here in Hamilton. Usually, King Beyond the Wall is in the summer, so we thought we'd do a late winter, early spring GT up here. Now that our community is kind of matured enough to support that, so
Matured.
Yes, we're into our Carlsberg years, maybe I don't know, maybe about 50 years. So we have 24 people signed up for this weekend's tournament. And the kind of unique spin that I decided to do for this was have two lists. So we're going to have, on day one, you have a 2,500 point list. And on day two, you have a 1995 point list. But that smaller list can only be made by removing things from your larger list. And that's to simulate your March of Death. This is an army.
Oh, it's like your attrition. You've lost stuff on day one. It's dead.
Yes.
It's not coming back.
It's not coming back. You're marching to your death. You're just trying to escape whatever's behind you.
Let's go drink vodka in the graveyard. This is just like what we got to do. Yeah.
Yeah. We just got to get out of here. And slightly, I know Lone Wolf does it the opposite way. And then I'm a huge fan of Steven Erikson and the Malazan series and the book, The Chain of Dogs. If you haven't read it, do it. It's the most depressing book you'll ever read.
And it's the Alamo that does, not Lone Wolf. Alamo.
Oh, the Alamo. Yeah.
Yeah, they do less points, and then they and in their thing, your big list has to include everything in your small list. So it's similar idea, right? Where it's the lists are linked intrinsically with each other, but your idea is you're saying your small list is you just got to get rid of stuff from your big list, and it still has to be legal. Like it still has to follow all the legal list making.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can remove items, you can remove units, but you can't just switch things in and out. So with that said, there's a couple people made some interesting choices. We'll find out. Not everyone is using 1995 on day two. Some people are using 1990 or 1985 because they couldn't.
That's interesting.
So I think there's a couple different list building philosophies that this conundrum poses.
We have I do not think that means what you think it means.
I mean, we did add you to the community, Ren, so yeah, you're kind of right.
And I do like seeing I have to give a shout out to the champion of the Riddle of Steel, Mr. Sean Polka is in the house. Congrats, Sean. He took my helmet. The trophy for Riddle this year was a helmet, and I was going to put it right next to my sword trophy. But we all know
he crushed his enemies and saw them before
my
him.
Friend, he crushed his enemies all except one, and I'll leave you as a mystery. So I told him, I said, congratulations, Sean. Just so you know, to be the man, you got to beat the man, but it will happen for him one day. So I just have to play him with not nuclear dice, and then I've just discovered that's how I beat Sean is I just bring my nuclear dice, and then we're
right. It's all about the dice.
Exactly.
So, to Sean's point, if you want to see the lists, I've shared the link on the Countercharge Facebook page. So if you go there, you can find the lists.
The general is in the house. Hi.
Good evening from the other side of the world.
The other side of the pond, listening to Feng Shui.
From the future, right? He's living in tomorrow already.
It's like I almost know how to say Countercharge by using Paige's commercial in all my episodes where he says Countercharge in Chinese. I think he's saying it in. I'm not sure. I apologize.
Paige will correct us. as he does.
Yeah, and Sean, exactly. That's what he has for his helmet. It's someplace he can go in and cry about Jeremy Dice in his helmet.
I just feel like you're just building up a grudge for round 1 next year.
Yes. Oh man, we got to get you out to Riddle, man. 1 year, you gotta come down.
I mean, that's a trip that I could sell Margaret on. Let's go to California in the middle of winter. So
yeah. Did you see the video of Rashad?
Yeah. See, we don't have the luxury of like sitting like TOs up in Canada in March. You can't like hang our feet.
You can't be in a pool
shorts.
with a cigar and a cocktail as people give you round results.
I'm just worried about people being able, like the roads being clear this weekend. It's supposed to be a snowstorm on Friday, so drive safe, folks.
Drive safe.
But
I digress. Let's take some look at some lists.
Yes. So just a quick little breakdown before we get started about what kind of lists we're going to see. So, as has become the norm up here, ogres are the most popular list. So we have 5 ogre armies, 5 out of 24. So almost a quarter of the armies are ogres. As is popular all around the world right now. We have 3 forces of nature armies, 3 goblin armies, which is odd for this area. We don't usually have that many goblin players. And then we have 2 kingdoms of men and 2 Order of the Green Lady lists, which is you don't often see doubles of those. You don't often see any of those, really.
Yeah.
2 undead lists, one of Jarvis kind and one of the normal evil kind.
I can't wait. As someone who's played Jarvis, I can't wait to see that list.
You should really try to find I'll post pics this weekend because Matt Langtree's undead list is like incredibly beautiful it's a nice looking army. It's filthy and beautiful at the same time.
Oh, cool. Well, then that's the best kind of filth.
And speaking of filth, Sylvankin, we have 1 Sylvankin list. John McCready cannot play elves. Varangur, Trident Realm, Free Dwarves, Northern Alliance, Riftforge Orcs, and Halflings are all represented. So we have an interesting mix. Lots of ogres, lots of forces of nature, and then a smattering of shooting and Alpha Strike.
But the Riftforge Orcs and Halflings, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. You know, and you do, I think, for like a 20-ish person tournament. I mean, what do you think? This feels like a nice variety of lists.
It does. I know that Halfling army is brand new. Nathaniel Whitfield just painted that up. Yeah, no Night Stalkers.
Yeah, interesting point, Steve.
We had 2 Night Stalkers at our last one day. I borrowed John McCready's, and then Seth Copeland had his, but he couldn't make it out this weekend. So he's one of our regular Night Stalker players. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a nice mix. Like a lot of people are trying new armies, and we have a couple like speed demon painters in our meta that just will do multiple armies a year. So it's nice. They're always bringing out something surprising.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, so I'm going to do this. I gotta share my screen, and we'll start looking at the lists. Let's see what's going on. Army lists there. Share. Is that showing up, Jeremy?
Yeah.
No.
I have it up. So just pick the one you wanna look at first.
Okay. Oh, here we go. So we do table 1. So this is a grudge. We have a bit of a rivalry between tool and die makers and engineers up here. James being an engineer and Nathan Cerrone being a tool and die maker. So this is like tournament 2 or 3 of the engineer versus tradesperson.
Did you open his list?
Not yet. So
okay, good.
James,
just want to make sure.
Yeah. So day 1. So we're gonna just go through both of James's lists. We're gonna see what he's taken on day 1. And there we go.
Okay, perfect.
So you're gonna see. So he's taken ogres, and then we're gonna look at what he removed for day 2. Then we're gonna do the same for Nathan, and then we're gonna talk about the matchup. So James has opted for double ogre warrior legions in his ogre army, which, when used properly, are terrifying.
Oh yeah, I mean if they get into combat,
Yeah,
they're gonna
it's 36
um
attacks with
yeah.
it's just mental. Anyway, so he has 4 Red Goblin Rabble regiments, which I think if you're taking 2 legions, you got to fill out the list with something, and can't go wrong
75
with
points,
Rabble.
cheap.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
good unit strength.
Yeah.
We have 2 Boomer Hordes, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we got a Horde, and then 2 legions of warriors, both with Crooked Dogs. One with Fury, which is you need to keep that thing swinging in case you get a lucky double 6 against you. And then Boots of Striding, because you will be hindered. Then not only 2 legions of warriors, he's got 2 hordes of siege breakers. And then only 2 heroes, which is kind of weird for ogres, but he's got a bully with the blade of slashing, and then
Nom Nom.
Nom, because that's the first unit you take. Okay. So then we got gonna go look at his 1995 list.
So we're gonna see what he dropped for his second day.
Yeah. So drops the siege breakers. So that's, you know what? 2 legions of warriors at 1995 is just going to be a really big problem for some people.
That's a lot of nerve to have to chew through. Because usually, how you deal with the legion of ogres is that you charge it first with enough to kill it in one go, right? Unless it's chaffed up, because whatever it hits back, it's evaporating.
Yeah. So there's fewer chaff pieces at 1995. Fewer big hammers, or fewer multiple hammers, because you're gonna have to double charge it. So those are going to be a huge problem on day 2, I think.
I think so. I think so too.
All right, so we got Nathan Cerrone's. This is a new army for him. Surprise, surprise. We just had that podcast with him where he painted, I think, 30,000 points last year. So he just painted 2,500 more this year.
Yeah.
He sent me this list this weekend, and he's like, I think this is what I want, but I might have time to paint a salamanders list before the weekend. So I'm like, are you sure? But he locked it
I
in.
may take this army, but I may paint this entirely new army before the weekend.
In 5 days. I was like,
that's
crazy. You're a madman. All right. So we got 2 hordes of Rebel, 2 regiments of Luggets. I love Luggets. Well,
Me too.
I hate them, but they're great units. Grogger's Lug Lads, which is a horde of Luggets, which is incredible. A fearless horde of goblins. Like, what? I don't know what they're thinking. Mob East Pack, a little bit of chaff. 3 Mincer Mob regiments, one with additional unit strength, which is interesting because most people don't think about it, but chariot regiments are only unit strength 2, which does bite you in the ass sometimes. So adding a 1. Oh, Ben just said Nathan is at 6,000 points already this year.
As of March, that tracks. That makes sense.
Yeah. So 3,000 a month. Yeah. So he's going for 36,000 for the year. That makes sense. All right, 2 war trombones, 3 wingets of the shooting variety, because that's the best kind. A bang it, 2 whizzes with lightning bolt and weakness, inspiring and conjurer staff, a troll bruiser, Zeros, great bargain, and then Magua and Juice.
Yeah,
that's a nasty list, Nathan.
Yep.
All right, what's next? So we got his 1995 list. Sorry, Jeremy, you want to go through this one?
Sure. Okay, so it looks like he's still got the rabble. He's got the Luggett gangs, the Mincer mobs, 2 war trombones, wingets. Keep going down. Bang it, whiz. So, what did he drop?
He dropped 1 winget.
1 winget, right? Because he had 3 wingets. Is the bruiser gone too?
A bruiser and the Mincer mob.
Okay.
And the Mob East Pack. Yeah.
But still, to me, this feels still kind of like what the list, I don't think he's lost. I mean, it still feels pretty good to me.
Yeah, it still feels like it has the proper goblin
tools. Yeah, what you would want, just not as much saturation of them.
Right.
It's
a 15 drop 1985 point list, 23 unit strength. it's a bit of an elite quote unquote goblin army. It's got
in air quotes.
yeah, it's got mincer mobs, groggers, lads, luggets. So it
Yeah,
hits relatively hard, but it still has a bunch
uh,
of that shooting that the wingets and the bangets and the whizzes kind of bring. It's
sure.
a pretty good all comers. I think this is a problematic list.
Yeah, no, it's
I
very
don't know
very
how much
good.
practice he has with it though.
Hmm.
So James used this ogre army in our last tournament, which was at 2,500 points, as a kind of a warm up.
Yeah, and how do you do with it?
I think he did okay. I think it
Hmm.
was. I think he's still getting the hang of the legions.
Yeah,
So, but I definitely know that he had some like aha moments during the day. So I think
yeah.
he's things are clicking better now than they were at the
They're
last
big
one.
footprint. They're big footprints to move around efficiently,
Right.
and he
And
has
then
no Red Goblin scouts, right? He just has the rabble
yeah,
regiments as
just the
far as
rabble. So
chaff.
nothing super fast.
No, he doesn't.
So
He's missing that fast chaff.
right. He's just got like space occupying chaff.
Hmm.
And then Nathan, his 2,500 point list has a lot of shooting. So just open that back up. It's the war trombones, the wingets, the whizzes. That'll add up. But then James has the two boomer hordes. So
Yeah.
I think they both have quite a bit of 12-inch shooting
Hmm.
with a little bit of lightning bolt backup.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And the boomer hordes are really good for dealing with mincer mobs.
yes,
At defense. So you're going to be at defense 3. So even though you're -16, what hits you get through, you're going to go,
yes,
right through. As long as you're not in the front. But I think
yeah,
that he could really put those boomers in a spot that if the mincer mobs want to get in on the chariot legions, which is what you want to do, right? You have your
yeah,
boomers kind of as a side piece.
yes, yeah. You want to be positioning them to support things and
Yeah.
force your opponent into your legions.
Yeah.
So yeah, once mincer mobs aren't facing you, they're a lot squishier because everything in James's list is CS1, CS2, piercing 1,
Hmm.
right? So
And
defense 4,
yeah,
melts that one.
using legions too, I think uh he's got to really think about how can I use terrain to my advantage, Can I
Hmm.
block off a flank of the legion by having it next to a building? Do I want to
Right.
move it up during through terrain so the first couple rounds of getting shot it has cover? It's
Hmm.
like really when you have ogre legions, I feel the rest of your army becomes an ogre legion delivery system.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're like two just giant nuclear missiles that you
Yeah,
just want to hit home.
that need to bomb some towns. They don't need to
Yeah,
bomb all the towns, but if they
yeah,
don't bomb at least some towns,
yeah,
that's rough.
yeah. You need something to get in the way of the
Yeah,
missile defense system.
exactly.
So I hate goblins.
Yeah.
I like both these gentlemen, so I'm going to vote for James. But not that this is really a call, but I'm
Yeah.
going to say James. I hope James wins. Sorry, Nathan.
Yeah.
I
I
hate
mean, I
goblins.
think he has the tools to do it. I think the key is going to
Yeah,
be just making sure that he deals with he doesn't let the legions get caught up on each other, and he
yeah,
thinks about at the very very beginning of the game in your initial deployment, what am I going to be doing with my legions in every turn
yeah.
so that
They
you
need to
you
be
don't get
contributing.
stuck. Yeah, you need to be thinking about where are they moving, where are they going to be in turn 1 so that by turn 3 they could be fighting turn 4, 5 and 6.
Yes,
You know,
yeah.
and
So
if you
what
yeah.
set it up so that they can eliminate a unit every turn starting turn 3.
Yeah, if you don't have a deployment plan and they end up behind something else or stuck behind a building or whatever,
Hmm.
that's usually rough for legions, but it definitely has the tools to win.
Yeah.
So I also hate goblins, so I will go with ogres with no real knowledge of any of these players, but just
Yes.
because poo poo goblins.
Yes. Down with the goblins.
Okay, nice.
Next, table 2. This is also so we have 4 grudges. So this is grudge 2 of 4. This is Mike McCready of the McCready clan.
Shots fired. He needs to remember to move them every turn, unlike last. So do move your legions. That is the
Yes.
key to their success.
Yes. Yeah, don't forget about your legions, James. Just remember that they're part of your army and you have to do something with them.
Yeah.
Okay. After that slight digression.
Yes.
So Mike McCready. So a little backstory here. Ben Tersch, aka the Dude Hunter.
Which I love. I love so much. It's a great
Re-
nickname.
there is a valid Kings of War reason that we call him the Dude Hunter, but I just let people think that it's for nefarious reasons. But
Makes sense.
one of his lists a few years ago ruthlessly hunted individuals, and Mike McCready dubbed him the Dude Hunter, and it stuck. This challenge is not related to that, though. Ben has won the last 2 one-day tournaments, and his bald head is inflating like a balloon, full of
So Mike wants to
grandiose
bring him back down to earth a little bit.
Yes. So
Okay.
Mike McCready won Best General at King Beyond the Wall 2,
Uh-huh.
I believe, or 3.
Yeah.
So he's here. He's stepped up, and he's stepped up as the people's champion
Okay.
to burst Ben's bubble.
He's got to shoot down the Dude Hunter balloon that's taking
Yes.
spy photos.
Yes.
He's got to get the balloon down.
The Dude Hunter dirigible is going down. For a little bit of alliteration for you guys.
Got it.
Okay. So Mike is unveiling his brand new, never seen before Order of the Green Lady. This guy has been playing dwarves as long as I've been playing rats.
Oh, wow. So this is like a big thing.
Yeah, this is a thing.
Okay.
This is his Brotherhood of the Raven moment that I have never had.
Ben says it's not possible for his head to get bigger.
It is. Yeah, it is. Okay. So Mike's Order of the Green Lady list, which looks fantastic. He's been really working on his painting this last couple of years.
Oh, that's always nice to hear. Yeah.
Really becoming a complete hobbyist. Earth Elemental Horde. Order of Redemption Regiment with boots.
Okay, love it.
Or Order of the Forsaken Horde.
You like him?
Woodland Critter Swarm. Beast of Nature with wings and 7 attacks. Pegasus. Greater Earth Elemental. Exemplar Redeemer on Winged Unicorn. Like it. Unicorn with Surge and Lightning Bolt. And Tome of Darkness, so bonus Surge. That's just natively from the tome. And then the Lurkers in the Lake formation. So you got a Brew of Haste, Horde of Water Elementals, Amine of Madness, Horde, Radiance of Life, Greater Water Elemental, and then the Devoted with Surge, Bane Chant, and Heal.
That's a nice formation. They're so fast.
It really is. Yeah, and they get Thunderous Charge from the Devoted, and I think they get Wild Charge from just everyone gets wild. All the water elementals get wild charge as well. So
yeah, it's just a deceptively super fast front element, that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, because the Horde is now speed 8 with wild charge 1, and then the other Horde is speed 7 with wild charge 2. So that's that gets spicy. Yeah. And I love greater water elementals and the Brotherhood list because Radiance of Life is great.
Oh, especially when they're surrounded by things that have regen. You know what I mean? It's like a force multiplier. Each time you add a little bit of life gain back, it adds up.
Yeah, defense 5. We talked about this on Corey's list builder. Like defense 5 with fearless defense 5 with regen and a little bit of heal support and Radiance of Life is just a huge pain in the ass to deal with. So that is a solid list.
Mr. Ray Shields in the house. I enjoyed your drunk tank episode.
Yes.
Mr. Ray talking about your meticulous pre-tournament game planning.
Yep. Oh, yeah,
I felt very inadequate. Yeah. On Nerd Hammer.
Yeah, I do not play it. I do not prepare that well. So Mike's 1995 list. What did he take out? So he's got the Forsaken Redemption, but he did remove the boots. Okay. He's got the critters. He's got a Beast of Nature still, Pegasus, Redeemer, Unicorn, but no Tome of Darkness. He's got the formation still, but he took out the Earth Elementals. So the Greater Earth Elemental and the Horde are gone, and the Woodland Critters.
Well, I mean, that makes sense to me. He's keeping all his speed elements. It's going to be a fast moving. He still has a lot of his chaff, a lot of his support elements. So just taking out some of that, like defense 6, hard to kill.
Yeah, so you went more from a hammer anvil to just like bag of hammers.
Exactly. Like, let me get rid of some of my stick on objectives. You can't kill them, and just double down on my speed. And you know, okay.
The enemy can't hold an objective if it's dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it. Kind of lean and mean.
Yeah.
All right. So we got the Dude Hunter.
Now the question is, the real question is, does he abide? Is the question? Does he trick White Russians?
Yeah. I just want his display board to be a nice rug.
Yeah. It ties the whole army together, man.
It does. It just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
Do you want to go through?
Sure. So the Dude Hunters, Rise of the Kraken, which sounds like an amazing MST3K movie that you would be expected to watch. He's got a troop of Riverguard Tree Leapers. He's got 2 hordes of Depth Horrors, one with Strider, one with Terror, which I kind of like that. He's got Gigas, horde of Gigas with Staying Stone, which is good. That means these guys are staying around, really tough to move.
And then avoiding that waiver, like they are with the Monstrous Infantry base and Nimble, they have some corkscrew shenanigan potential. So you don't want them to get wavered.
Yeah, they can just get stuck in a place and they're not moving. And then, like you said, they can do some movement shenanigans that you would not expect from a big shield style unit.
Yeah.
2 regiments of Tidal Swarms that never die. They're protected.
Huge pain in the ass.
Oh, they're the biggest pain in the ass of ass painting. They're protected by PETA. You know, you don't want to mess with them. They're all endangered. All of the swarm. They are just like really tough to kill. 2 Knuckers, which are great, right? Knuckers are just classic. Speed 9. Nimble, Pathfinder. They can get around. A Coral Giant, Kraken, a Thule Aqua Mage. That always thinks of me as like a villain in Mega Man. I always think like Thule Aqua Mage would be
his pose with his arms up in the air is just it's hilarious. He's like a little like Cthulhu priest.
Yeah, a Thule Mythigan.
That's who it is. Yeah,
Thule with Gnome Glass Shield, which I like. On these type of characters, I think it is a nice little tech piece for only 10 points,
especially on Ensnare. Units, right?
Yeah, exactly. And since he has casting, there's a chance you run into him, don't do any damage, and then he's leaving and going off to continue wind blasting or bane chanting. Depth Horror Eternal with the Torque of Dissonance, and then we have the Thule formation, the Hidden Ones, which these guys pack a wallop. 20 attacks on 3s is not small.
No, it adds up.
And then it comes with the hero of with Bane Chant, Mind Fog, and with that Thunderous Charge aura plus Bane Chant surrounding a unit with 20 attacks that hit on 3s. All of a sudden, that's why I'm saying this unit can very quickly become not Soul Reavers, but not like, oh, those are just Thule until they punch you in the face.
Well, yeah, with Thunderous Charge and Bane Chant, they are Soul Reavers. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They can get big real fast.
And he's got 2 Bane Chants, which is huge. And then I think the secret tech in this list, sorry, Ben, is the Bark Skin.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of defense 3 units. So Bark Skin's like hitting on 3s. So you're getting like 3 or 4 tokens.
Yeah. It's just like Bark Skin,
3 or 4 tokens on those units.
Tidal Swarm, it makes them just never gonna die.
Oh yeah, Bark Skin on the Tidal Swarm, you're hitting.
Or even on the Depth Horror Internals, because they're defense 3 too, which is like you get those stuck in combat just to let them live one more turn.
This list is a huge pain in the ass. I gotta tell you.
Trident Realms is my pain in the ass army. It's one of those lists that I don't play enough, and when I do play, I'm just like, oh god. It's like I don't have the mental energy to play against them. Very tough list.
If you don't have much shooting to get rid of those Tidal Swarms early, and start putting some wounds on things before combat start, it is an uphill battle.
Yeah, like Sean speaks to that too, right? Putting Bark Skin on something that already has Ensnare. It's like we talk about that. We were just talking about that, the force multiplier, right? Which is you're doubling down on these things. And each layer that you add to that annoying cake makes it taste that much bitter as you shove it in my gullet.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like layer after layer. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, we'll go through Ben's 1995 list and we can do a little bit of a comparison. But this is going to
Sure.
be like, oof. So 1995, what does he get rid of?
Gigas are still there. The Tidal Swarm are still there. The Knuckers are still there. The Depth Horrors are still there. The Aqua Mage. The Formation.
I feel like there's something.
What did he have?
What was it? The River Guard are gone.
Okay, so the Troop of River Guard is gone.
The Kraken.
The Kraken is gone.
Yeah. That's part of the Surf and Turf was the Kraken.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he still has the Giant, so he still has
Yeah.
a big,
yeah.
He still has a
the
big
defense
piece.
5s ensnare Iron Resolve.
Yeah.
Giant.
And I think a good thing you can do with the Giant, and especially in Trident Realms, is deny board space and force your opponents into hindered charges by having to align into terrain, which then that added with the force multiplier of ensnare. If you can, as a Trident Realms player, force your opponent to make hindered charges,
huge.
It's not going to be a good day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he got rid of the Depth Horror Eternal as well. Okay.
Depth
so
Horror
he got rid of
Eternal,
some of the support pieces, but the core of the
Yeah.
army is still there, and it's still a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, I think Mike's army hits a little harder.
Yeah.
But, and he does have a lot of wound or damage mitigation and recovery. And then, like, on the other hand, Ben's list hits pretty hard, but it's just gonna be hard to get hits to like actually convert or like
water
attacks.
elementals hit on 4s, right?
Yeah.
So that formation, that is just when you're relying on 4s up to be part of your damage package, and you're playing Ensnare, being an undead player who's played against Trident Realms many times, it can be really tough because those water elementals could not do jack doo-doo.
Well, yeah, earth elementals, water elementals, they're all hitting on 4s. So they're all going to be hitting on 5s unless he's getting surge flanks, which will be tricky.
And he does have Pathfinder, right? So he doesn't have to worry about that hitting on 6s, but 4s to 5s is such a big deal.
Yes, huge. And then at 2,500, the board is a little more crowded.
Yeah.
It may be tricky to get surge flanks, and I know Mike has used earth elementals, in the past with his dwarves, but I'm not sure how much practice he's had with surge.
Yeah.
So
you just don't want to get stuck, because that's when the Thule come out to play. Usually in these style lists, is you get stuck on something, and then the Thules are in a position to either flank you or combo charge or whatever, and then it's just those 20 dice on 3s with TC aura plus a Bane chant. They're gonna just
melt
eat you for breakfast. Yeah,
because everything in Mike's army is medium nerve. So it's
but if it's a scenario where the Trident Realms player can't just set up shop. Yes. And he's got to move, right? He's got to move out of terrain, or he's got to move out into the open, or spread out and allow those surge areas to get in there. I could see it could be tough, but I think that Trident Realms list, I'm gonna have bad dreams about that tonight. Is all I gotta say.
I think for any list that doesn't have significant shooting, it is a huge problem.
It is, and you're exactly right. That list going up against a heavy shooting list is going to be a different game. Not to say that it can't compete, but going up against a melee 4+, that's usually what Trident Realms want to see is that style of matchup.
Yep. So again,
and his name is the Dude Hunter. I got to go with the Dude Abides. So
yeah, I hear that. I'm gonna go with my heart and not my gut, and I'm gonna vote for Mike and his order.
Well, he's your brother from another mother, so it's like I could never vote against Britain, so I get it.
Yeah, he's on the A team. He and I were the anchor this year, so at Crossroads. So Mike's gonna do it. He's gonna burst the Dude Hunter's bubble. I'm calling it.
He's just, what? It's like, watch that Bruce Lee clip where he talks about how water breaks stone. You know what I mean? It's just, be water. So, and you'll get in all the cracks.
Too bad Mike's, I don't know. Yeah, that works for you, but Mike's the one with the stone and Ben's the one with the water. So,
I guess so. So my analogy actually meant nothing. So let's
it works for you. It works for your pick. It works for your pick.
Let's move on.
Okay, so this is another grudge. This was so Justin Berg sent out a challenge to the nation of Canada, and the champion that stepped up was Matt Langtry, to representing all of Canada. This is true, Ben. I do just hate you. So Matt has stepped up with his undead to face Justin and his Varangur. And Justin hasn't played this Varangur list since
Varangur.
the first King Beyond the Wall, where we were at the same venue.
I haven't looked at a lot of like current played Varangur lists, so I'm really curious to see what he has in his list.
All right, so here's Justin's 2,500 point list.
Okay.
So we got a Regiment of Draugr because they're cheap, and you need to unlock because you need to unlock Frostfang Lords and Frostfang.
Need to unlock all the Frostfang things.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert!
So you got 2 regiments of Huskarls.
Yep.
Brew of Strength on a Horde of Fallen. And then we got Frostfang Cavalry Horde with Brew of Sharpness. So we got 4 big hammers. And 2 Snowfox regiments. And then we have
amazing chaff.
Amazing chaff. Mm-hmm. And then we have a series of nimble square monsters.
Oh, so gross.
So we have 2 Jabberwocks, 2 Thanes on Frostfang with Snow Foxes, one with Mace of Crushing, one with Blade of Slashing. And then we have 3 Lords on Frostfangs with Snow Foxes. 14 drops, unit strength 23, and just I used the term bag of hammers earlier. I think that this is a bag of hammers.
This is like the bag of kidney hammers. They're hammers that only want to hit you in your kidneys. Like they're not going to try to hit you in the face. They're going to like dance around you and then hit you in the side. Yeah,
this is just like it is a positioning nightmare. There's going to be so many flanks of it. Like it's all height 4. Well, he's got a couple height 2 and height 3, so there's some height layering here. It's
going to be very difficult not to give up flank charges to this army at some point in the game.
Yeah, he's got 7 nimble 50s.
You're just going to have to mitigate when that happens. Try to mitigate it with terrain or play scenario, knowing that you're going to be giving those up at certain times. Or, I mean, that's one of those lists that you know what it does, and even knowing what it does doesn't mean that you can stop it. It's going to do what it's going to do.
So at 1995, he drops a Jabberwock,
Jabberwocky,
a Thane,
and a Lord. Okay.
So it's still
the same. So he just I'm going to just make it a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah.
But it's the same list. It's just a smaller.
Yeah, it's just a fewer pieces.
Less redundancy. Man, Frostfang Cav with sharpness is just like blender.
Yeah. All right, so we got Matt and his undead.
Yeah, Jabberwockies are so good.
I think so. I think they're underrated. Cavern Dweller gets a lot of love, but I think the Jabberwock is.
Yeah, and I think that's just because the Cavern Dweller is so good. The Jabberwocky is also good. It's just the other choice is good plus, but it doesn't mean that Jabberwocky is not also inherently good.
Yeah. So Matt and his beautiful undead. So we have 2 hordes. Oh, sorry, you can go through the undead list because.
Okay, so we got 2 hordes of zombies. We have a horde of ghouls. We have Soul Reaver infantry regiment. We have it's all white. We got 2 whites. And then we have a troop of Reb Cav. Still, I think probably one of the arguably best chaff pieces in the game.
Absolutely.
Soul Reaver Cav with Strider, which is nice to see now that they've made the tweak to infantry. Starting to see maybe people play the Cav option because I've always felt the Cav option was a solid choice.
Absolutely.
Triple Balefire Catapult, interesting. Jarvis, and then so this I imagine to be 2 Vampire Lords. This I imagine to be Revenant King. Is there anything else?
And Necromancer.
Necromancer. Okay. Sometimes I think Jarvis is good to take just for Jarvis. You don't always need to be taking him for his special rule, because if you look at his points, he's 140 points with an extended spell range, and he picks up Bane Chant 2, Heal 3, Lightning Bolt 3, and Surge 8. So his toolkit for 140 points, I think, is really well costed. So I've run
very inspiring, right? So that's a huge one.
So I've run lists with Jarvis and not taken any good aligned units just because I think he is good value by himself. So I think that's a solid choice. And then two vampires on foot, just great pieces. They run around, combo charge with other things, add in their 7 attacks.
Yeah, and he put Lightning Bolt on them because I know he just wanted to add a little bit of pressure into this list. I think he had been feeling, because I know Tom Annis has talked about how like undead they seem kind of fast, but they're actually kind of slow because it's hard to engage the enemy before turn 3, and Matt is a patient player. So that's like, that might be turn 4 or 5.
And I like the idea of those vampires can do something every turn. And because they have 360-degree shooting arc, late game when they're maneuvering, they can lightning bolt anything that they see, as opposed to other units have to give up. They have to have line of sight. You know what I mean? I just like the idea of having that's some late game. Maybe you shoot something off an objective.
Well, yeah, because if you just like, you have all your big hammers, but if you've put like 12 damage on something,
the only thing I'm curious
it or something.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm curious is about, scroll down, is if you're taking 2 legions of, was it 2 legions or 2 hordes of zombies?
2 hordes.
Oh, never mind. Okay, I thought I read them first as 2 legions, and I'm not seeing the formation. So I'm like, if you're gonna take 2 legions of zombies, you should take the formation. But no, hordes are fine. Great value.
Yeah.
Revenant King. I love the Revenant King. Hits on 3s, defense 5. Plus, also I see going with he's again trying to build that full force multiplier. So now he has Lightning Bolt 9 between those three characters.
And then Jarvis has 3, so it's Lightning Bolt 12.
It's a deceptive amount of Lightning Bolt.
Yeah,
with
Lightning
the Balefires.
12 with 3 Balefires. That is like, you're like verging on shooting list. Like that's
his opponent, based on his dice, his opponent is going to have to move forward, which is what he wants, right? Come into me. So
don't hold back. And this
I like that.
Justin has a lot of height 4 and 5. It's going to be hard to hide everything.
Yeah.
So in 1995, what does Matt remove? He removes, what is it? The Soul Reaver Infantry.
1 less Balefire.
1 less Balefire.
And then he doesn't have the Revenant, some of those other characters. He drops off just the Vampire Lords.
The Necromancer and Rev King. Yeah.
But still good. 12
potent list.
Yeah. 12 drops always, I get it. I played 11 or, playing Elite Basalia, but it's still good. I think at 1995 or not at lower points, I like to think of looking at nerve pools, because you only have so much to kill and do. So I think at lower points values, zombie, big nerve, and hordes, its intrinsic value goes up.
Yep.
Because I think there's less killy things. So I think like the 2 hordes of zombie infantry and the ghoul horde, those are all better, I believe, at lower points values, because your opponent has less tools to kill them. So
there are fewer big hammers, like fewer. The volume of shooting is lower. Everything is
just dice volume is less, right? The lower points you go down. So I think it makes those units a little bit more. And he's still picking his 2 whites, which are his main hammers.
Yeah.
Plus his Balefires, plus his vampires. So I think this is a nice tuning of his bigger list.
Yep. It's still efficient, and it still does what it needs to do.
Yeah.
All right. So Matt has 4 hammers. Justin has 4 hammers plus 5 monsters. Matt has the vampires and all that shooting. So I think it's really going to be like turns 1 and 2. What is Matt's shooting doing? Like how?
Because Justin's going to be running at his face. So it's like, does he punch him in the mouth with the shooting to have Justin go, whoa, and have that happen, like, oh shit, I lost the Frostfang Lord, or I lost something. Do I got to slow down? Do I got to change my game plan? Do I got to, But if
Hmm.
he's able to just run up all that stuff and engage, he's
Yeah.
got the dice to get through that list.
Yeah. So when I was running 3 Balefire, Undead, and even just with my Rordia to some extent with the 3 cannons and Lightning Bolt,
Uh-huh.
it's always about like, can I remove a hammer on turn 1 and 2? Like
That's your
not,
goal, right?
yeah. I just want to. I want to remove 1 threat in the first 2 turns, not each
Mhm.
turn. Just I want the opponent to be down 1 threat
Yeah.
by turn end of turn 2. Then I feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, you want to
So
remove one of their high value hammers before your armies fully engage.
yeah, and
Because that's good.
yeah.
That will create space for your surge lanes. It will remove the dice volume that they need to take down your big nerve pools on your hordes. Yeah, so I think the early, and to me so far, I think as far as going first, I as the Varangur player, I really want to go first against this
Yeah.
list.
You need to shrink the field. You need to get in its face, and then you have to
Totally.
start creating angles for
Yeah,
your.
you need to start setting up those nimble forward pushing sight lines as
Mhm.
early in the game as possible. Move up, get your stuff into terrain, get ready, So, but I think this is good. That's going to be a really fun battle. That one I'm curious to see how it
Yeah,
goes
definitely going to be peeking at that table a lot
for
on
sure.
Saturday morning. Okay, I'm gonna go. Hmm. I've used similar lists in the past from both types, and I like them both. But I'm gonna go with Matt's Undead. I think.
Yeah, and I am again based completely uneducated and on nothing other than Undead was my first army, and it has Jarvis, which I took Jarvis the Masters one year. I feel like a brotherhood with Jarvis, and I think he's going to make it happen. So I will go. I'm going to pick Undead too.
Love it,
Prepared to be
Justin.
wrong.
Well, Justin has been making big talk about he's aiming for the wooden spoon, which is bullshit because he's actually a very good player. But
Mhm.
Matt might send him on his way to the
Doesn't
wooden
the
spoon.
model of Jarvis have like a wand? He's got to like do a conversion where
Yeah.
Jarvis has like a wooden spoon. Is his wand on the model?
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So, table 4. These guys are friends, but I don't think they actually get a chance to play very much because they work like Mark works weird shifts. So these guys are Nathan Sarone's friends from up in Cambridge area. They are new to our community, like as of like last year.
Oh, welcome.
Uh, really great guys. I got to play Mark for the first time last Friday against his Undead. It's a nasty list. I played Bruno at the last tournament in his Goblins, which is also a nasty list. So let's take a look. So Bruno Lopez's shiny garbage.
I love it. I love people who name their armies. It just is like it hits me in the feels.
Yeah. So he's starting off with 4 hordes of rabble, as you do.
Okay. As you do. Bodies, bodies, bodies.
Yeah. 3 Lugget gangs, which
Yes.
are great.
Love
A
the Lugget
horde
gangs.
of trolls with the Chalice of Wrath. That's a smart pick. And then we get into the
Hmm.
nasty. 3 war trombones, 3 mop up launchers, 3 wingets with bombs away, 2 bangets, 3 whizzes with lightning bolt, 1 with inspiring. I think he wants his name to be Jeff, not Bruno.
Basically.
A troll cruiser with orb of tyrant presence, which
Yeah.
is one of my favorite items for large infantry
I see
characters.
he enjoys the O'Neillian philosophy on list
Yes,
design.
yeah, and then a king on chariot, which is actually it's a surprisingly useful character.
Oh, the King on
Okay,
Chariot's great. I mean,
yeah,
he's got 7 bow shots on 4s, which when
yeah,
you add that up to all the other shooting, it's not a
yeah.
small amount.
It's sneaky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very sneaky
Uh,
amount of shooting.
so this is just balls to the wall goblins.
Yeah, it's let me take all the bodies so that I can get all of the good stuff. Sit
Yeah,
all my stuff on objectives, and do you have enough turns in the game to chew through all my nerve as I kill your hammers with my shooting?
yeah. It's like get close because you have to because you're getting shot at by lightning bolt and mop up launchers. But once you're close, you got war trombones and you got bangets and
Yeah.
it's just and luggets to countercharge.
Yes.
This is this is a Nasty
Yeah.
list.
So this to me is just like, can he play the list under? What clocks are you guys? Are you guys
We're
using
using
clocks?
65 minutes, so it's going to be tight, and he's
So
still
he's got to
getting used
really
to
know.
it.
Yeah, and that could be an issue, right? Like Jeff plays this list so well because he's played it so much and he's so efficient that he can play it and still almost clock out. So
Yeah.
this is a list that you got to be really wary of your time.
Yeah, target priority, like going through that shooting phase in an efficient manner is huge.
Mhm.
So that he's losing a war trombone, a mop-up launcher, 2 wingets, and a whiz or 2 whizzes. Okay, so quite a bit less shooting in the
Mhm.
1995 list with all the same
Combat
infantry.
elements.
Yeah, so I think that's still enough, right? It's still enough shooting to put pressure and to like clean things up and put wounds on
And I get
things.
the idea of he wants to keep his bodies in unit strength at 1995, right?
Yeah,
He wants to keep that advantage of having a lot of bodies in unit
right.
strength and drops.
It 1995 point list, 18 drops, 27 unit strength.
See, that's high. So I see the choice there is I'm going to drop some of my shooting, but I'm going to keep my board control.
Yeah,
and that's like you could have gone the other way, but I see why that is a tactical way that does make sense.
Yeah, well, the goblins just give you the options, right?
Yeah.
He's not hamstringing himself by doing it. Like Nuggets.
No, it's just one
Trolls.
of 2 good choices to make. Do I keep my
Yeah.
shooting and shoot you, or do I
Yeah.
leave my shooting and still have twice the units in unit strength that you do?
Exactly. It's just like it's win-win with. So
Yeah.
that's the hot garbage. So he has shiny garbage and hot garbage.
Okay.
At
least he's self-aware.
Yeah. As a fan of balanced lists, I like hot garbage a little better.
Yeah.
So. Okay, and this is Mark Rachewski's Undead.
Okay.
There's a little Discord pop up. Okay, Undead. Do you want to go through this?
Yeah, sure. So we got a regiment of zombies. We have 2 regiments of zombies. We have a horde of zombie trolls with Jesse's boots. Just trying to read this format. We got a Soul Reaver infantry regiment with Chalice of Wrath. Okay, Wraith troops.
Yep, three Wraith troops.
3 Wraith troops. Which to me feels like retro. People used to always run double, triple Wraith troops back in the day. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got the white package. He's got the Super Beast white package. Any items on these? I'm not seeing no items.
4 naked white hordes.
Okay, which that's fine, man. They hit like a chuck. Zuanok, who I also like Zuanok just from a value standpoint.
Yeah. You get Veil of Shadows and the healing fireball. It's legit.
At 120 points per action that he takes, you're gonna get a lot of use. There's not many turns he's not doing anything. So
and he's another inspiring necromancer that is cheaper than a lich, right?
That's what I'm saying. So you get a lot of value out of Zuanok, even if you weren't facing shooting. I just think all his other package is just nice. So we got Necromancer with Shroud of the Saint, just to give a little extra heal.
Yeah.
We a Lycanus. I always dig the Lycanus. A great run up the flank, be annoying. We have a Rev King.
He's got the orb on it, so it's a unit strength 2. If he wants to hold him back, depending on the scenario, just to pick up a objective or table quarter.
Yeah, I like that, so that if something flies in a unit strength 1 piece, you can nimble move your 18 inches, and now you're in a board quarter with 2 unit strength versus 1. So, and then he rounds out the list with a Revenant King on foot. Mounted on a horse. Yeah, so okay. So just mounted with Zephyr Crown. So he's picking up some Wind Blast, some Surge. I love Revenant Kings. Defense 5, getting the way of stuff. They're just a nice
very high value.
Yeah, it's just like a value town unit, right? Where you're getting a lot of the stuff he had in that list is just good value.
Yeah, maximum value. Okay, and so he opted for 1990. He couldn't quite cut the perfect 505.
So we still have 2 zombie regiments. We have the zombie trolls. We have the Soul Reaver infantry. Did he maybe? He dropped one of the wraiths, and then I'm thinking maybe a white. Did he go down to 3 whites? Yeah,
dropped 3 whites.
He went from 4 to 3 whites. He looks like he kept everything else, so he just dropped.
Took some of the Necromancer.
The necromancer, a wraith troop, and a horde of wights.
Yeah.
So just cutting some of the, maybe you don't need that fourth hammer. Go down to 3 hammers at slightly less points. You don't need the extra.
Well, he still has the Soul Reavers, right? So he went from 5 to 4.
Yes. Yeah. So this is like a lot of hammer action.
Yeah. So it's like a little light on chaff.
Yeah.
But and then he has the zombie trolls too, which are like kind of a pseudo Hamvil.
Yeah. Just a nice. I like to, you put zombie trolls in the middle, and you put them to the side, and they're so focused trying to deal with your wights that all of a sudden the zombie trolls come into a flank, and then that's when hitting on 4s doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, you got 36 on 4s with Crush 2. Like that's a problem.
It is a problem. Exactly, it is a problem.
So, up against goblins, my one thing with this undead list is like it doesn't have a ton of chaff. It has a lot of shambling units. So it is going to be like turn 3 or 4 before it really is engaged, unless Bruno moves up unnecessarily quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a tricky one, and it's a lot of medium nerve against a lot of potentially dangerous shooting.
Yeah, he's got to get into combat. And I feel like he just can't. The undead player, if he has about a bad round of combat here or there, it's going to be tough because those wights still are only, medium nerve. So if they take some damage on their way in and then charge and don't pick up those hordes or don't pick up those things and they get stuck, then that's when all of that chip shooting and all, they're just going to get taken off the board, and then he's going to run out of drops real quick.
Well, that's the thing, like with wights and the change to Soul Reaver infantry, it's really a high quality attack army. And like back when you had 25 attacks on Soul Reavers, you had a high quantity of high quality attacks, so you could chew through hordes of defense 4 infantry pretty readily. Mm-hmm. Now with 20 attacks, it's similar to an 18 attack brutal white horde. So you're chewing through a horde is time consuming, or a double charge.
Yeah, exactly. You can no longer take a unit of Soul Reaver infantry into a horde and be somewhat confident that you'll kill it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is I just see if he can get some surges off, get into flanks, pick up hordes in one go, and can survive some of the early shooting. Yeah. The tough with this list is even if when you kill, let's say, even if he kills and is winning the scenario towards the end of the game, there's still so much stuff that can just shoot his units off objectives.
Well, that's the thing. It's going to be very hard for him to pick up the wingets and bangets.
Yes.
And the whizzes. Like, they're just going to be swarming around. There's 20.
Yeah.
So there's double checking. There's 24 drops. The Goblin army has 24 drops. So Mark doesn't have enough turns in the game to kill 24 things.
No, he's going to be engaged with all the units where all the spellcasters are running around being annoying jerk-offs. And I could see this game where he's in a dominant position, turn 5, turn 6, and then all of a sudden all the whizzes, everything like goes, turns the targeting system onto the unit that's in the middle of the board or whatever that's holding that last objective, and dash 17 defense 5. I mean, he has the tools to shoot that off a turn.
Yeah, I played Bruno with borrowing John's Night Stalkers last tournament, and even with stealthy, like, it ended up in my favor. But at turn 6, bottom of turn 6, he picked up like 3 or 4 units.
Yeah, those style goblin lists play really strong end game, especially if there's a turn 7. They play the further the game goes on, the more powerful their shooting elements become. And with undead, usually that's really hurts when you're winning late game, but you're naked. All your units are deployed on the board on objectives, and your opponent's going to have a turn or two to try to kill them. But
I'm going to reiterate that I hate goblins. So I'm going to I played Mark on the weekend, and I think maybe he's going to turn things around. I think I'm going to go with Mark's undead, and I'm going to vote against the goblins.
This time, I think I just have to go with the goblins. Having been an undead player very many times, I've been in complete utter board control against goblins in turn 5, and then it's like, okay, Okay, let me go over to kill this white horde. Let me kill this unit.
Yeah.
Let me kill this guy, and then their one rabble horde that's left out of all
Yep.
their stuff is sitting on the one objective, and then
Yeah.
you're just like, how did I lose? I killed your I was killing 8 units a turn, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. It is facing a good goblin list with a good goblin general is really demoralizing.
It's very tough. So yeah, so I'm gonna go goblins, but definitely I mean, if he gets a strong alpha, and let's say
Yeah.
he charges in that first turn and picks up 2 or 3, he's
Yeah.
picking. He needs to be picking stuff up every combat phase. He
Yeah.
cannot get stuck.
If he can break through and kind of spread out,
Yes. Uh-huh.
and if Bruno has a couple bad turns early on with shooting.
Or if his shooting does not go off, which is completely possible, like he misses all his lightning bolt
It's a
turn
lot of
1.
5s to hit,
That's what I'm saying. Against
or no
defense
piercing.
5.
Yeah.
And then if he only gets a couple wounds, then he engages, he's going to start life leeching that
Mhm.
stuff back.
Yeah, there's
So
a road to victory there for Mark.
there is totally is.
Okay, so table 5. This is the first non-grudge. This is Evan McNeely from Peterborough. I've never met him. He contacted me after I posted the event a while back, so it'll be exciting to meet some new players from east of Toronto, Eastern Ontario. So welcome to the group. He's bringing Kingdoms of Men, and he's facing off against Ray Shields, the gentleman of Kings of War, bringing his knights. So he's bringing Order of the Green Lady. So this is going to be Ray's first time in Hamilton as well. So
awesome. I can't wait to see. I don't think I've ever seen a Ray play this list in an event that I've been at, so I'm curious to see it.
I think in the past he may have used this as a historical French army when the Kings of War.
Oh, okay. Yes, that does. I know that he has played historical French before so that does ring a bell.
Okay, so I'll take Evan's list. I think, yeah, it's a Sweden themed historicals list. So it's gonna be historicals versus historicals. So we're gonna have 100 Years War France versus 16th,
Oh man,
17th century Sweden.
I just went from 6 to midnight. This is. I'm excited to hear about this one.
So we got Sweden 2,500. So we got 2 regiments of spear phalanx. You got 2 regiments and a horde of rifles. Then you got a troop and 2 regiments of mounted sergeants, which I actually really like. They're a really good value.
I haven't played much against them.
They're like that. They're like the quintessential boring medium cav, but they can do some work.
Yeah, at 13-15 for 150, I always wondered if they were too expensive, but they are speed 9 nimble, so I mean, you're getting some good stuff.
It's like if you have other threats that people can't focus on them. But
yes, that makes sense.
So he's got 2 regiments of mounted scouts with black powder weapons, 2 siege artillery, 3 cannons. Oh geez, a giant, the general with the scrying gem. Love it. A wizard with boomstick and lightning bolt, and the captain. I love the scrying gem plus the captain combo. That's good. Force your opponent to drop a couple extra units, then you get to redeploy a couple units. That could be really powerful.
You're gonna have some agency on how the board starts for sure.
Yeah, like you can position your giant, or your artillery, or it's gonna be. It can be powerful. Sometimes it doesn't make any difference at all. But so at 1995, he's still got his.
That's what she said, Ray. So.
So we got spears. We got the rifles still. We got the mounted sergeants, mounted scouts. We got. Oh, he dropped the siege artillery and 1 cannon.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. And then I feel like he might have lost a unit of rifles.
No, he had a he went from, was it a regiment and 2 hordes previously, and then is it now 2 regiments and a horde?
Yes. There you go. 1 more. No, it's 2 regiments.
2 regiments. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
When
So
I
yeah,
see
so
rifle regiments, I just think of like halfling rifle regiments with
yeah,
steady
s-
aim. It's
those
18
are
instead
good.
of 24, but I just love that unit so much more.
Being able to move and shoot is just so important.
It's
So
so huge.
this is gonna make this the captain in the sky. I don't know. Yeah, the scrying gem might be important for the rifles because he's gonna really need to put them in the right position.
Yeah, otherwise they're just gonna be shooting their foots the whole game.
Yeah. All right. So here you go here's Ray's list. He's got March of the Knights.
Dun 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 dun.
Okay. Do you want to go through Ray's list
Okay,
there
so
again?
we have the Braveheart Freedom Men at Arms retainers,
Mm-hmm.
so 3 regiments of men at arms. We have you've been weighed and measured and found lacking the Knight's Tale
Mm-hmm.
Squires, which is a regiment of the Brotherhood Centaurs Cav.
Nice.
We have Order of the Brotherhood Cavalry. Um, with Banner of the Green Lady Improved Strength. And then he has another one, Regiment with Fire Oil. And then a last one, Naked. So 3 regiments of knights.
Mm-hmm.
We have his Order of Redemption Cavalry, one with Helm of the Drunken Ram, and one with Sharpness. Ooh,
I
that's
like it.
nasty. Yeah, I
I
just
like it.
love these guys. To me, I just love like knights that have regen.
Yeah.
I just like once they do their fighting as they're moving around, they're healing up, and then it
Yeah.
makes it to where they can be a real good late game piece.
Yeah. They're
Um,
self-inspiring. They have regen, and now that they have CS1, TC1, like
they
they're
they have
awesome.
some sustainability. So the
Yeah.
regen will not just let them stay alive; it will let them stay alive to punch you in the face.
Yeah. Well, they're
Um,
hitting on twos with CS1
yeah,
on
that's
the.
what I'm saying.
That's
It's
huge.
very good. It's very good. I'm not surprised based on it that it's a Ray Shields list that's good. So
Mm-hmm.
we have Flight of the Valkyries, Order of Forsaken with Strider, which I like it. I can see putting Strider on a flying unit. Just means you doesn't matter where you land, right?
Yeah.
Um,
The large cav base is pretty big.
it's
It's
pretty
got a
big.
big butt, right? It sticks
Yeah,
out a lot.
yeah.
So.
The only thing maybe I would want to put on them, just because I'm a wussy, is like either give them Brew of Strength or give them
Mm-hmm.
Headstrong or some sort of waiver mitigation.
They do.
Um,
They have headstrong natively, so
Oh, okay, never mind. I had forgotten that they're like knights, right? So they come with
yeah,
headstrong. Okay.
yeah. So they
Uh,
have the built-in waiver, which is huge.
okay. Yes, 100%. Two Pegasus, which are amazing, and
Mm-hmm.
2 exemplars of the Brotherhood, which are just
Oh, okay.
the Tom Annis special, which is let me put the medium combat guy on a horse.
Yep.
And then we
Oh,
have Druid, uh, with Conjurer Staff Heal Bane Chant on
good
a
combo.
horse, and then we have a unicorn with heal 5 and host Shadow Beast,
Ooh.
which the fact that it has crushing strength 1, uh, when I look at host Shadow Beast, I think about what is the attacks that it already comes with.
Yeah.
Are there like the Pharaoh, right, which is another big a good thing for host Shadow Beast. The unicorn actually has some attacks that make me can do 1 point of damage. And what's
Mm-hmm.
its spellcaster 2?
Yeah.
So it's getting 4. Then okay, so host Shadow Beast, if he makes a success, he's getting 4 additional attacks to hit on 3s with crushing 3 to go along with his 3
Three with
attacks with
crush
on
one, thunder
3s
one.
with crush. So that's enough to put 3 or 4 damage. You're definitely sitting down something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that. And
And
it's like a hat.
you throw him in with one of your knight regiments.
Totally.
That's gonna tip a combat.
And to me, I like it that it's a unicorn who's just been pushed once. He's been pushed 1 force too
Yeah.
far. So he's still a lovely unicorn, but he now casts Host Shadow Beast like no
Yeah.
more. He's been broken.
Yeah. It's like heal. He heals his units, and then you push him over the edge,
Yeah,
and it's like
exactly. Uh-huh.
Unicorn Hulk
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
out.
It's like Avatar. You cut down the tree 1 more time, and he just loses it. He's like,
Yeah.
no more tree cutting down
This.
for you.
Yeah. All right. So that's his 2,500 list. And what do we
Yeah.
got for 1995? What does he keep? Okay. So he's
He's
losing a
losing a
regiment.
Brotherhood regiment. Yeah. losing one exemplar, I think, right? I think he had 2 exemplars. He had 2.
Sorry, just gonna go back. Oh, the Centaur Regiment.
The Centaurs. Okay. So a couple of regiments, and then
yeah. So he loses the big hammery order of the Brotherhood, so one with the Pathfinder and Brew of Strength. So now he's down to 2 normal knights with no Pathfinder.
How much phalanx is in the other army?
I think he has, what does he have? 2 or 3 regiments of 2 regiments of spears.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's not because I played Basileia against heavy phalanx Kingdoms of Men, and it can be like a
huge problem.
It can be a real big problem with so.
There was a player that up in the Northeast, he would bring Sam. He would bring 5 regiments of spear, the pikemen.
Yeah,
and it's like when you have, you have to overcommit, and they're just a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, and it's when your army's either knights or flying knights or whatever, then it makes like your it could just be a problem. So that's I don't know. I don't think it will be in this matchup, but
I think Evan's new to the game. Ray is really not, and that being said, this is probably one of the best. Ray is probably one of the best people to pair a new player with. Like he is.
If you want to play
nicest guys you'll ever meet in war.
If you want to play someone who plays kings at the very high level, at like a master's at a master's level, but who is going to be kind and generous and teach you and learn from, he would be up there on like my short list of what experienced player do you want to have a new player play that when they lose they won't be all like, screw this noise, I'm quitting the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Ray's a good person to match them up against.
Absolutely. I think Ray is. So yeah, this game is going to be a teachable moment, but it's going to be enjoyable, and I think it's going to be a good way to start the weekend for Evan for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I love anytime I get to play Ray in a tournament. I'm happy.
Yeah, I got to play him last round at Crossroads, and that was like cherry on top of a perfect weekend.
Oh, I can totally imagine. Yeah, we played in Texas a few times, so always nice to. And I hope your dad's doing well, Ray.
Yeah,
a good dude. Ray's dad's a good dude.
I know Ray's dad has used the French a couple times too.
Yes,
at tournaments. All right, so moving on.
What's next?
Table 6. We have the Filth Master himself, John McCready, against Nick Scabetta, one of the guys down from Buffalo. He's like, I think Nick was the first guy from Buffalo to come up to our tournaments regularly back in the early days of the Hamilton.
Before the sickness.
Yeah, before the sickness. So back when we were like scrounging for 8 players to show up on a Saturday. So John he's got back to his first love, which is elves, but he's pivoted slightly into Sylvankin away from. So he went from elves, and he won King Beyond the Wall with ogres, and then he was playing.
I could already tell that I gotta get a napkin to spit the puke out of my mouth that I'm gonna be throwing up into my mouth.
Just get a bucket.
I think I need a bucket for this.
All right. So we have 3 regiments of Gladestalkers, 2 hordes of Forest Shamblers. You got the Stormwind Cav with Pathfinder. 1, 2, 3 greater air elementals, a Master Hunter, an Elven Archmage with Lightning Bolt and Conjurer's Staff, and 2 Tree Herders, one of which is the Wiltfather.
I'm disappointed the Master Hunter doesn't have Scythe of the Harvester or something like that to be like extra oppressive. I mean, you're at the party, bro.
Couldn't squeeze it in.
Put the little gel on the hair. You're at the the Cheesetown party. Go the rest of the way.
Yeah, so that's the 2,500. I know John was agonizing about how to cut this down to 1995 and may have said some choice words to me, but he did it successfully.
Yeah. One less greater air, it looks like.
Yeah, so he's got 1 less Forest Shambler.
Yes.
1 less greater air elemental. Yeah, so this is a pretty lean 1995 list. 10 drops, 19
Now this
unit
scares
strength.
me. This is rough because if you get unlucky and usually a unit here or there, 10 drops is really not a lot of drops.
Yeah, and those
So
Gladestalkers
very
against
fragile.
facing off against the wrong opponent, yeah, they're very fragile.
They'll either be really great or you'll have to be super hyper defensive when you play them.
Yeah, he's gonna have to play very, very well
Cagey.
to do it. Yeah, it's gonna be a very stressful Sunday, I think, for this list.
But in general, I don't know. Put on your Scrying Gems hat, Alex.
Yeah.
I think that this is one of the best lists in the meta.
Yeah.
This style, triple air elemental, Gladestalker, Sylvankin
Sylvankin.
nature. You know, I think Sylvankin gives you with the Master Hunter and some other pieces, but I think it's a strong build. And I say that, and I say that saying there's nothing wrong with taking a strong build. It's just a strong build.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the one because everyone, not everyone, but a lot of the times, like the Forces of Nature air elemental list really gets a lot of play. That not as many people are using the Sylvankin list to do it. And I think it's but it is definitely one of the boogeymen in the closet.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, no, I know Ryan Munsel's been playing the Sylvankin list that's kind of similar to that, and it is just really difficult to deal with. I mean, with those Master Hunters and Elven Archmages and stuff that you can't ever fight for the whole game because you're going to be just chasing around. It's difficult.
So this is a hilarious twist of fate because Nick has been playing Riftforged Orcs for the last year or two. And he has decided to bring out a secret army for this tournament. He is bringing Forces of Nature. with
interesting.
With some similar units to John. So do you want to go through
Sure. So he's got a horde of ensnarers. He's got 2 regiments of heart piercers, 2 troops of hunters of the wild. Interesting. So he's deciding to take the fire elemental package. So he's got 3 hordes of fire elementals, the 3 greater airs. He's got a druid with the periscope, which is nice.
Yep.
A Banechant Surge, and then he's got the Gladewalker druid, which this guy is just like chef's kiss.
Yeah, there's nothing better. Like,
it's like I want to cast,
but he does so much.
Yeah, he ain't cheap, but I feel he gets his points. He's one of those guys that I'm not mad at spending points for him.
Interestingly, he puts the Conjurer staff, not the wizard's hat or whatever, the one that gives him plus 6-inch range, but he probably couldn't squeeze that in.
Yeah, you know, maybe he just wants to go for value, you know, consistency as opposed to and depending on his deployment, maybe that guy's gonna not need the range, but
and I have failed like 2 Surge 8s in a row to get one, so getting a Conjurer staff in there can help.
And then of course the Wilt Daddy.
Yep.
To round out.
Wow. So this is, I mean, if you're going to bring 3 greater air elementals, karma dictates you'll get your comeuppance at some point. So you might as well get the mirror match out of the way right away.
And he's got the heart piercers.
Yeah. All right. So at 1995, he loses some fire elementals, a greater
air,
one of the hunters of the wild. Okay. 11
so
drops,
just
18 units.
We're seeing kind of a theme, right? Like we're seeing the pruning of multiples. I think more often than not in the switch from the
if you have
to the
3 of
list,
one, you just go down to 2.
You go down to 2, right? That seems to be. Let's look back at the elf list again real quick.
So I'm curious. One thing John has is that his shooting is longer ranged than Nick's.
Yeah. Like the Gladestalkers, as far as dealing with the heart piercers, that's a matchup that the Gladestalkers should win, right?
Yeah. But then the fire elementals technically win versus forest chamblers.
Yes.
Stormwind are good. It's good. Yeah, call it a push for hammers.
Yeah. This is going to remind me of Top Gun, right? In the scene in Top Gun when they're doing the training, and it's like, air elemental went this way. I went this way. It was like, where'd he go? Where'd who go? It's going to be like the greater elementals flying around each other, trying to find that flank.
Yeah, this is going to be a game of angles. Whoever exposes the incorrect flank first is going to set up a chain reaction, I
It's
think.
going to be rough. Or I could see a shooting exchange between the Gladestalkers and the Heart Piercers. If there's some dice shenanigans there, and let's say
if
the
John
Heart
can pick
Piercers
up a
go off,
regiment, if John can pick up a regiment of Heart Piercers like early, turn 1, turn 2, if he can get rid of those, that drastically shifts the game.
Yeah, because at low defense, Heart Piercers shooting at Gladestalkers, that's exactly what you want to shoot against.
Yeah, and
with
John
Heart
has
Piercers.
some lightning bolt to augment that, and then the master. Like, he has enough shooting to pick up a Heart Piercer regiment turn 1.
Yeah,
and maybe threaten some other stuff. So there's going to be some.
Yeah, normally I would say Heart Piercers are good but not great, but there's a lot of great targets for them in this matchup. So to me, that's like an actual, like that's a package. The Heart Piercer package here is one that I'm really interested. It's going to be, and I don't know. Have you seen people playing a lot of fire elementals? I have not seen a lot of fire elementals being played.
Yeah, I know that Corey was running them at his the last tournament. Was it Heart of Winter or Dead of Winter? But
which Corey? Corey Reynolds?
Yeah. Okay. And like they're good. They're just like, they don't have any of the, they're kind of vanilla in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't have defense 6, they don't have any movement mods. So
punch a little bit better,
Yeah, but I know John has used fire elementals in one of his nature builds before he went settled on the Sylvankin, and they're problematic.
Okay. I do love the Mantic models for them though too. They make really dope models.
Yes, I think most of the Mantic elementals are
very good.
I like them.
The greater fire especially I really enjoy as a model.
Yeah. Yes. So again, I'm not going to pick against my team, so I'm picking John, even though it's elves, and it leaves a terrible taste in my mouth.
Me too. I think I got to go John too, but I think that there are some. He's got some stuff he's got to look out for. And with any sort of list, I think things could go from good to very bad very quickly. I think with that elf list.
Yeah, it's not a point and click list, and it is a bit of a glass hammer.
It can collapse very quickly, and usually when that sort of list loses, it loses with nothing left on the board.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Okay. Table 7.
Awesome.
This is Dave Matheson versus Steve Evan, who is 2 people. So we had a couple scheduling problems with a couple of people. Evan could only come on Saturday. Steve could only come on Sunday. So we just merged them into one person.
Okay.
So they're going to run Steve's ogre list, and Dave is also bringing ogres. This is this is his Forest Bandits list that he's been working on, new for the tournament.
Okay.
So we got a horde of boomers. 4 hordes of siege breakers.
Okay.
A mammoth with the big deal upgrade, as you do.
Yeah.
Red Goblin Blaster. 2 giants. 1 with cleaver, 1 with club. Okay. Boomer Sergeant, Grokkagamok, and Namagarok. So pretty elite.
Yes.
Not investing in too many like ogre units. A lot of heavy single.
Not a lot of chaff or ways to deal with chaff. I mean,
yeah, the boomers will help, but yeah.
Yeah, but by then a lot of any sort of faster chaff is going to be getting to where it wants to be. He's just hoping that defense 6 is its own chaff, right? My chaff is big shield.
Just don't die, and then let the giants and mammoths get flank charges.
Exactly. Just don't let people double or triple charge those hordes by offset placement so they can't align along the front, and then just hope your big shield is your chaff.
Yeah. So then he drops a boomer and the giants to get down to 1995.
He loses both. Now this is interesting. This is the first
giants. Yeah.
This is the first one where we've seen a real, I would say, gameplay mechanic change.
Yeah.
In his drop, where it's not just losing horde of siege breakers or whatever. He's
Yeah.
He's losing both, and giants are so valuable of a tool. I think I
Especially
probably
in
would want to.
ogres. Yeah. So
I think I would have
20
wanted
nerf,
to.
right?
Yeah, I think I would want to have kept at least one of the giants.
Yep.
But
That-
what do I know?
That's a big one. Yeah, that's two
Yeah.
big giant blocks of nerf gone. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Then we got Steve. This is Steve's ogre list that Evan will be running.
Okay.
Evan's he's one of the managers at our local store, the Black Knight Games, where we play most of our games on Friday nights and have our Saturday
nice.
tournaments. And he's started playing Kings of War in the last year. So
whoa, is this 2016? What's happening here?
Yeah. Well, Steve likes to live in the past. So Evan is working on an Abyssal list and a Empire of Dust list. So they're not quite ready. So they're going to be running Steve's list, which is double shooters.
Like I said, I'm in the DeLorean. I'm hitting it to 88.
Yeah, a horde of boomers.
Okay.
2 siege breakers with waiver mitigation.
Sure.
A horde of braves with elite.
Okay.
Goblin Scouts.
I love Berserker Braves.
A giant where he didn't pick club or cleaver. Steve.
Is that free?
Yeah. I think
okay. So maybe touch base with him on that.
Yeah, we got. Sorry, I didn't catch that before we went live, Steve.
Yeah.
So this is your warning. Pick it before Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Berserker Bully, Warlock with Conjure Staff, Lightning Bolt and Drain Life, Grokkagamok, and Namagrok. So we got a Grok off, double Groks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so again, still pretty 12 drops, 22 unit strengths for 2,500 points. That's
usually, I mean, 12 with an elite unit, 12 or 13 makes more sense at 2,300, right? But once you get to 2,500, you would expect to be 14 even with an elite list.
Mm-hmm. So then at 1995, Steve goes down to keeps the shooters, keeps the siege breakers, drops the boomers, and Grokkagamok. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Down to 10,
again 10
and 18. Yeah, this is that's going to be.
But if your opponent doesn't have anything to counter the shooters, those shooters at lower points can be pretty good, right?
Yeah. Everyone always he jokes because everyone always shits on his shooters, but it's like he does work with them. Like no one expects them. But
because it's just like it's an old tech that there's just so many counters to them now. Just like how I think I love Enslaved Guardian archers, but in today's meta, I just think there's too many ways for them to be counter shot off the board. So, but sometimes when you bring something that's like that people are like, what? They haven't played against it in so long. You can kind of do some stuff with it.
Yeah.
So,
I think they're going to do work.
Yeah.
On Saturday morning because there's no chaff to block line of sight to Dave's juicy targets.
Mm-hmm.
But they're both relative. Like Dave's been playing wargaming for a long time, but he's been coming out to our tournaments last year. So
and ogres hit so hard, man. They have they say it in boxing, like a puncher's chance.
Yes,
ogres
absolutely.
have that. You could play ogres, make mistakes or whatever, but they can punch their way out of it.
You have 4 hordes of siege breakers and 2 giants in the big deal.
Yeah, I mean, how can you go wrong?
That's going to do work no matter what. I think this is going to be really dicey, like, literally, because this is 2 low drop, really punchy lists that are melee focused. It's going to be oof.
Yeah, this is one that's definitely, I feel if there's any dice variance in this game, it could really be sometimes, right, Alex, you have dice variance in a game and it doesn't really change anything. Yeah. But this one, I feel it could be a strong outcome, catalyst for the outcome.
Yeah. I feel like the double giant might push Dave's. Like, I know the shooters can do work, but I feel like it feels like there's more meat to Dave's list. I don't know why.
Yes.
Okay.
I love things. Yeah. And so we did both for that run, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with the shooters just because I like the narrative of that. It's like the hero's journey. they've gone on their journey and now they're returning. I like the circular. It's like a carousel. It goes around and around
Yep.
and up and down. So I'm gonna go with the ogre shooter list.
Return of the Shooter. I'll go with
Return of the Shooter.
I'm gonna go Forest Bandits.
Okay.
All right. So table 8, we have Ryan King versus Paul MacArthur. This is Steve's son. I think Paul is like, I should know his age, but he's around 12 years old. He's been playing.
Don't make him cry. Is all I'm telling you.
Jeremy knows all.
Cry. I know all about making little kids cry. Do not do it.
Paul's been coming out to our tournaments since last year. He's been building up this nature list slowly but surely, and now he's up to 2,500 points. And I think he's excited to move on to like Trident Realm after this for Ambush. Yeah. And then he actually he placed higher than Steve at our last tournament. So the student has become the master.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So Ryan is also playing nature.
Okay.
So these are 2 of the 3 nature lists facing off.
God, it's so strange, right? Things change. To see nature now as one of the big dogs, I like it. But it's just so interesting how stuff changes.
Steve just corrected me. Paul is 13 years old. I should know, but
okay. Well, then that's good. Hopefully, he's had some life experience and is good, and you won't have to feel horrible for a year after making him cry. So
yeah, all I know is that Paul's always older than I think he is.
Okay.
So this is Ryan's nature list. He's got 2 regiments of Hunters of the Wild. I think are actually I like them for their points. They're surprising.
Oh, I think they're very solid. I think they're a solid unit. Defense 5. They're hard to kill at 140. Yeah, no, solid unit.
3 hordes of Forest Shamblers. 3 hordes of Scorchwings.
Yep.
2 Gladewalker Druids. 1 with the Ring of Harmony. 1 with our Amulet of Fireheart.
So man, that's a lot of spell casting in one. Yeah, it's a lot of pew pew.
Kapoka. And then 2 Tree Herders, 1 Nimble and 1 with Wiltfather upgrade. Oof.
Ooh, interesting. So you're turning your non-Wiltfather still into a combat threat by adding that Nimble spice.
Nimble 50 with defense 6, and that's a spicy one.
Scorchwings are so good.
They really are.
Just so if you have nothing to shoot at them or no counterplay against them, they just dominate board space.
You could get so many flanks with them.
That's what I'm telling you, man. They just
so hard to hide from them.
And that's why I say dominate board space. They just dominate lanes. They just set tempo. They're just such good units.
Steve said he thought the giant defaulted to Slayer, so I think that's what he wants to use. His
Slayer.
Sure, you want Slayer now that you know you're facing ogres.
Cheater. You want me to do Ryan's list?
So I'll do Ryan's 1995 list, and you can do.
Oh yeah, I'll do the next one. Yeah.
So he loses a horde of Shamblers and a horde of Scorchwings and 1 Gladewalker Druid. Okay. So still the core of the functionality of the list remains intact.
I just wonder, these lists that go down and lose the 20 to 25 points.
Yeah.
It's such a small amount of points, so I don't think it's going to make a difference, but I'm curious to see, do people feel like losing out on those little chunks of points? Do they make a difference? I'm curious to see that post event.
It speaks to like the list building philosophy, because I made the event and I announced the rules, and then like I realized like it actually would be smarter to build a 1995 point list and then
add what you want. Yes, it would be.
Because then you just but again, day 1 has 3 games, so if you think your day 1 list is optimizing your day 1 list is more important, right?
Yeah.
It's a trade-off, but losing 30 points it probably won't matter, but it is. It feels
I'm just curious to see what people's thoughts are. Did they feel it?
It feels like 30 points is verging on the point where you could feel it.
Yeah, like 5, 10, 15, I don't know, but when you 30 is like a brew of that's like
that's
like
a significant item, right?
Yeah, it's one of the top tier or like A or S tier items at that point.
All right, so here's Paul's March of Death, Forces of Nature Army.
Okay, and this is we've discovered is 13-year-old Paul.
13-year-old Paul, that he wrote this
Okay.
list on his own.
Well, I just want to say welcome to the hobby, my man. We'd love to have you. Get all
Yeah.
your friends into it. This is a hobby that will stay with you for your whole life. You'll have amazing friends. You'll travel the world. You'll meet beautiful women. You know, everything that, you know,
It'll bring
minus,
everything good to your life.
yeah, you know, minus the women, you know,
Yeah.
everything will be good. So, okay. So he's running Forces of Nature. He's got a regiment of forest shamblers, a horde of forest shamblers with Blessing of the Gods, 3 regiments of woodland critters, a greater air elemental, only one. He's a sophisticated young
Man
gentleman.
of taste and
Yeah,
restraint.
man of taste and wealth, you know.
Yeah.
One greater earth elemental. We have a Gladewalker druid with the Ring of Harmony and Wings of the Honey Maze. Wow, now that's really expensive then.
Yeah.
But full tactical deployment, you know, put it wherever you want it.
He's going to
2
get
tree
where he needs to go.
Exactly. 2 tree herders, one as the Wilt Father and one with the Pipes of Terror, which I believe we saw that in another list where we
Yeah, I
had
think-
a double tree herder. I've seen Pipes of Terror a couple times.
Yeah, it's a nice little boost.
Yeah, and then he's looked like he's going with the air elemental formation, which is
Mhm.
a horde of air elementals with sharpness, a horde of air elementals with brew of strength, plus the greater air elemental, and they gain the aura brutal.
Yes.
Man, that is some punchy air elementals.
Yeah.
18
hitting on
attacks on
twos in the
twos?
flank is going to be spicy if
Whew.
you can pull that off.
Yeah. Oh man, that's that. Yeah, if that can be navigated well and surge or whatever, that is a formation that can do some damage.
Oh, so he actually has 2 greater elementals. He has the one in the formation and the one outside the formation.
Oh yes, okay. So he has got. So he is rocking the dose.
Yeah. So I think that's the minimum. You're not allowed to take one.
I think it's a
anymore.
solid list. I don't think it's anything
Yeah.
crazy. I think it's just nicely composed. He's
Yeah,
got a
he's
little
got,
bit
like-
of this, a little bit of that.
He's got, his chaff, he's got some anvils, and then he's got his
Mhm.
hammers that are like a
Yeah.
huge, very mobile and hard to plan around. And he's learning surge, which, to his credit, like that's a hard mechanic to start with.
Oh, totally. It's very difficult. No, I feel he's put a lot of elements in this list that are going to help him learn different styles of gameplay and different things to think about.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally believe it. Ben says it's a good list and hard to beat, and I totally. It's got all the pieces that you need to win.
Yep. He did quite well. I think he went 2-1 at our last one-day tournament.
Nice.
So his 1990, he went down to 1990. He couldn't quite get the perfect 505 reduction, but again, loses some chaff and a shambler regiment. And yeah, what else did he remove? And was there a greater earth elemental? Maybe. Yeah.
It looks pretty similar, right?
Yeah, he loses the greater earth elemental and a shambler horde and 2 regiments of critters.
Well, I think if you're losing the shambler horde, you're not going to have as much slower stuff. So the earth elemental of supporting that slower shamblers, I don't think you don't need it as much. You're just going to double down on the air elemental speed play.
Yeah. It's
So
similar to what Mike McCready did. He dropped his earth elementals, right?
Yes.
It's just kind of like you drop that battle group. Kind of
exactly. You just take that element out of the list and you choose to be, I'm going to be a more forward deploying up in your face style army.
Yep. Paul's kind of like family, so I'm going to pick Paul for this matchup.
Okay.
But I think Ryan's shooting is definitely something that's going to be a little bit of a wrinkle for this matchup.
I really like balanced, well thought out lists that have a little bit of everything. So I'm going to go for Paul's list as well, just because I like that style of play and want to encourage it, which is building toolkit armies that have a little bit of everything and that isn't so much picking one thing and riding the Alamona pony, So, but both really solid. Like all these lists have been really fun and interesting so far.
I like both of those lists. And I think Ryan's due. I think he's had a couple of rough goes at some 1-days, but I think he's due this weekend. And I think the Scorchwings he's gonna ride the Scorchwings to victory at least a couple times.
Oh yeah, there's going to be some matchups with that where his opponent will have no answer to them.
Yeah.
And he can just control pacing. He'll do with them with whatever he pleases.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think they're gonna pay off big time at some point. I just think Paul's list can mitigate that. It's tough, and it is also very mobile. So, all right. So table 9, we have Brian Lurin with his goblins that are, for the first time ever, fully painted. He's been slowly chipping
man,
away.
congratulations.
Yeah, huge. He's been painting these guys for a while. He has a lot of digressions. He paints a lot of his board games, minis and stuff like that.
Got
I
it.
think he
That makes
posted
sense.
he posted his Scythe miniatures the other day on the counter charge page, maybe that was a different. But these goblins have been nice and slowly growing, and they're great. And so he's facing off against Nathaniel Whitfield's halflings, which are brand new. He's just finished those. Okay, so I'm gonna get Brian's goblins. So that's the 1995, 2500. Okay, we got a legion of sharpsticks. I think goblins should only be available in legions.
With the hammer of measured force, I love it. That's hilarious.
35 attacks on 5s, always wounding on 4s. This is amazing.
Flavor Town unit.
Yeah, you got a horde of trolls with the latest lashing.
Uh-huh.
Brian loves his Fleabag Riders. He's got
man, I love this list so much.
4 regiments. He's got a troop of mob beasts with a scrying gem. Oh man. A big rocks thrower, a minster, just a straight up minster, not a minster mob. 2 goblin slashers. One in the both the sharp 6, one with the Slayer or the Rampage aura. 2 giants. A flagget, a bigot on the mount with a torque of dissonance, and a troll bruiser. This is just.
I love this list so much because it's a goblin list that is full of flavor. It's not. It's missing some of the no triple wingets, no bang it's up the wazoo. Yeah. It's got Fleabag Riders. It's got a legion with hammer of measured force. Man, this is awesome.
This is goblins. I think
this is so great.
Just a bunch of really crappy goblins and then 4 monsters.
4 slashers titans. And giants and this is just like 2 tickets to Flavor Town to me. This is like thematically wise. I just love the theme of this army.
Yeah, it's great. And then when he goes down to 1995, what is he losing?
Thank God it's not the Legion with hammer. That would make me so sad.
Yeah, so he dropped a bunch of the.
Does he have both giants? Engines? Both giants?
Yeah, he kept the giants and slashers. So he dropped the minsters. He dropped the big rocks thrower, the troll bruiser, and the bigot. So he's down to. Oh, I like this. This is just one inspiring source. I love it.
These goblins are going to do what goblins do. Don't even bother trying to make them not run away. Man. This list has turned on my heart light.
Steve made a good point in the Facebook chat just now. Like, it's a great looking army. Like, it's taken a while, but it was worth the wait. Like, all those titans, like, it just looks great.
Finishing an army, and sometimes the people who have multiple armies, you forget. To finish an army is such a big deal. I mean, how many people have fully painted armies in our hobby? Yeah. Not a lot. I mean, it is something to be cherished and appreciated. And congratulations.
And that first one.
The first one. There's something magic about that first fully painted army. It sticks with you for your whole hobby.
All right. So this is Nathaniel's halflings, which I think now this is going to be hilarious because this is just
this is the list. This is the list, Matt, on this is a list, Alex, that on I can't look on the Mantic website too closely because I want to make a Mantic halfling army because the models are so cool.
So much character.
So much character.
All right. So here you go. Whoa. You like
Who
legions?
is Shadow Sword? Please, I'm calling them out.
Um,
Do we know who that
that
is?
I believe is Eamon, my resin
Oh.
dealer.
Oh, hey man, we're cool. I love you, bro. I'd never call
I
you
think.
out.
Oh, he has. Oh, he doesn't have a fully painted army yet.
Oh, well then you're dead to you're dead to me.
Yeah,
So
his
stop
dwarves
stop
are really close. I
yeah.
thought your dwarves were finished
Mhm.
last year, or are they
Stop
not
stop
quite?
printing so many miniatures for people like the best fine friend that you are, and be
Yeah,
selfish and paint your army.
yeah. There you go.
Okay, sorry, I digress. Continue. We're on the home stretch.
Yeah. So here you go. Here's Nathaniel's halflings for you. You can go walk us through.
Okay. And I see Mr. Zelensky. Welcome is
Hey, Mark.
watching. So hello, buddy. Can't wait to see you at Adepticon. Okay, so Braves triple legion, baby. This is what I love to see. Large and in charge, semi-large and in charge, as the halflings are. No special. So they're taking relentless.
Yep.
The EJ Grenadiers, in homage to Matt.
Yeah.
All with relentless. That's a fantastic unit. One of them. Oh, just so
Oh,
good. Such an amazing
they're
unit.
insane value.
Yeah, 110 points that I can drop in brutal D3. They give the motion to the ocean, you know.
And for some reason unit strength too. Like I always thought that they were heavy infantry, but then they're large infantry, and you're like, oh, they're way too good.
Oh,
Like 11,
just like
13, like they're
yes.
like some of the best chaff in the game.
Speed 10, good. Brutal D3, good. Nimble, good. Defense 4, good.
Unit strength 2, 11,
Good.
13.
And they're 110 points.
Yeah.
So with relentless. So
Just
yeah.
bonkers.
Chef's
Aeronauts
kiss.
get all the press, but the
No,
edge grenadiers.
the Grenadiers. Yeah. The Grenadiers, Crocky. Force Troll, we have a Force Troll Gunners, which we all know about these guys. Solid unit.
Yep.
Juggers, which is interesting. I'm curious to see, like, I would love to make a halfling list with like heavy knights and paint it to look like a Bretonia army. So it's like medieval, high chivalric period halflings.
Yes. Yep.
And I love the Jugger helmets and the resin upgrade kit are super dope. With Stang Stone.
You should make STLs for all the upgrade kits.
Yeah, and then sell them to Eamon, and then Eamon can print them for us. So
yes.
3 regiments of aeronauts, and we just know these guys. These are high risk, high reward. They could do nothing, or they could just destroy you.
Yeah, the variance is very high with these
very high variance unit. Harvester, Iron Beast, with Pride of the Shires, and then a sergeant with the standard of Hodenberg, and then two sorcerers.
Okay. This is going to be a saucy list, I think.
It is very saucy, well seasoned.
Yeah, the aeronauts and Grenadier are going to be flying around doing all
causing a lot. And 3 legions in the middle of the board or sitting up on objectives. That's not something that can just be moved.
Yeah. What is the aura that the Iron Beast has?
Spell
ward, and headstrong.
Yeah. So that's supporting like the middle of your battle line. Yeah, I mean, depending on the scenario, triple legion is difficult to handle.
Yeah.
Especially when they're backed up by the aeronauts who then flank charge whatever you charged into their legion.
Yes.
You know, so I could see some nice little nifty battle lines you could make with this list.
Nathaniel also his Northern Alliance army is one of my favorites to look at when he brings it out. So I'm excited to see.
Is this painted? Is this fully painted? This list?
I think it is.
Do you know what model range? Is he using Mantic models, or do you know?
I think so. You know what? I haven't seen this. This has kind of been.
This is a lot of dudes.
He's been talking about it for about a year, so I'm excited to see it in person. So this is going to be a beautiful table.
Because it's just a lot of guys I'm curious to see. This is going to look like a super robust, like what a mass combat army should look like.
Mm-hmm. I think this is gonna be a really fun game.
Mm-hmm.
Like two really great guys, and just two lists that are like just yeah. I think
Like
four
just
four
dripping
titans
with
on one
themes.
side,
Yeah.
and then just like all these flying tech halflings on the other side.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's just dripping with theme. This would be
Yeah.
like the kind of battle report you would want to read in a magazine. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I don't know how. Wait, let's look at what he's bringing on Sunday. What did he remove? He's kept the legions, which is amazing.
nice. So they're saying that they think it is Mantic. Pretty sure because and that would make sense based on that army that he went to Black Knight and bought all the halflings.
Yes.
They're like, oh, what units would you like to buy for your halfling army? I will
Mostly
buy.
Mantic, yeah. All
Yeah.
painted.
I will
Okay,
buy
yeah.
all of them.
Yes. Oh yeah, I think he's just been like buying them up every time.
Uh-huh. Dope.
Okay, so 1995. What did he lose?
Did he have 3 Edge Grenadiers? I don't remember.
Yeah, he did. He had 3. So he dropped one of those.
He's got the legions. What about the? He's still got the sorcerers.
Oh, he dropped the Iron Beast. Yeah.
Iron Beast. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Just drop it. Yeah. Iron Beast and Harvester and one of the Edge Grenadiers. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Keeps
Yeah,
the rest of the interesting
keeps the
pieces.
list pretty functional. Like say
it's a lot of that's a lot of unit strength for what is that down? Look at that for 1995. It was what
28.
in the high 20s. Yeah, that's a lot of unit strength.
And those are heavy drops, like 13 drops, 20. That's over 2 unit strength per drop. Like
that's a lot. It's a lot to chew through in a 1900 point game.
325, 27 units. It's just like oof. Again, like you're saying, like that those high nerve chunk blocks really their value goes up at 1995.
They scale. The lower the points gets, the higher they scale in value. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote for Brian because it's his first fully painted army for the Goblins.
Yeah, we put a link. We put a link to the lists in the Countercharge Facebook group. So just go to the Countercharge Facebook group on Facebook. Join if you haven't joined. A lot of our cool podcast content is there, and then you'll see the link to all the lists.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what do you think, Jeremy? Goblins or halflings?
Dude, this is the match that I just want to get some popcorn and get my cozy like blanket I fit into, and just like, forget about the shit of my life right now and just watch this list. I want just to float me away to 12-year-old Jeremy imagining
this is like a Ralph Bakshi movie on a tabletop, right?
That's what I'm telling you, man. It's just, I want to be just like sail away to lands of adventure and splendor.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just so curious how that triple legion of Braves is going to work. But I mean, he has a lot of speed. He's going to be able to get those flea bags kind of into what he wants.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed on both sides of the table. It's going to be. I don't think 4 legions have been on the same table in Kings of War in a very long time.
No matter who wins, we all win in this matchup. So I'm just going to say we all win. Us, the audience, win. So we're the real winners here.
The community is the real. Having Brian and Nathaniel in the community, you guys.
We as a community are winning because of this matchup.
That's why you're on this, guys. I wanted that infectious positivity.
Well, I'm doing it, man. This. I want to film and watch it while I'm.
This is gonna be great. I'll take lots of pictures.
Please do, because this I'm really excited for this matchup.
All right, so now we have table 10. We have Ren Moyer versus Warren Grow. So Warren's another new player in our area,
which is awesome to keep hearing new names.
And Ren is one of the Buffalo guys, and he started coming out to our events last year. So
dope.
Both relatively new to our community. I'm not sure how much.
How far is it from Buffalo to you guys?
It's about 45 minutes. Like
so it's like really close.
Yeah, it's like local essentially. It's like under an hour in good traffic. So, which I appreciate Ren's list. It's Kingdoms of Ren.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Because he is the boss. Oh wow. Okay, here we go.
so we got a horde of militia.
Okay.
So Value Town, and
Yes.
then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regiments of knights with
Mhm.
indomitable will,
Because of
and a
like an
horde.
I just wanted him to be screaming Deus Vult as he's
Yeah,
charging. God
yeah.
wills it.
If he doesn't, the Ren's Crusade.
Yeah, totally.
Then we have a horde of Beast Cav with Fly. So he's
Okay.
got 5 hordes of knights, 5 regiments of knights, a horde of knights, a horde of Beast Cav that are flying. He's got a wizard on a Pegasus with Alchemist Curse and Lightning Bolt, which I like. He's got the captain. Got to be able to move that horde around, or the Beast Cav around. General Winged Beast and the Monarch. Those are also good redeployment targets.
Man, looking at these lists, I just want to play in this tournament, man. There are just some like fun, creative, just like cool lists.
Well, we're 45 minutes from Pearson International Airport.
Okay, so then I'll just do the 7 hours to get me there, and
Yeah.
I just only have 45 minutes to drive.
Yeah. All right. So that's his 2,500 points list. Highly focused. We'll say that.
Knights.
Knights on knights. Yo, dog.
Yeah.
We heard you like knights.
Yeah.
So we put knights on your knights. And then we
Uh-huh.
put flying knights on top.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So
night will fall that evening.
Yes.
But
Nightfall. So we got drop the militia horde and a couple of regiments of knights.
Okay.
I think everything else is the same.
So he's just cutting down on the knights and keeping all the other tech
keeping
choices.
the fancy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, keeping the tech choices and then just dropping on the knights.
Yeah, I think getting the captain comboed with the general and winged beast and monarch is super strong.
Do we know what range he uses for this army?
I don't. I've never seen this. He's been
okay.
I think he's had a couple. Is it orcs and ogres previously?
I just love a full army of knights. You know me, I grew up Bretonnia. I love Bretonnia. You know, I know Mark Zelinsky loves the full knight army too.
I think that's just something that really like hits all the nostalgia strings.
It is. It's everything that you love. What got us in the fantasy stuff was like knights on horseback. So to me, it's like something so pure and joyous.
Yeah, super satisfying to see.
Oh, totally.
Steve said that he'll pick you up at the airport.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure who. Oh, and then it's no. It's all old GW. Cool. So that could be cool.
Yeah.
So that means, is it Bretonnia or is it old school like Empire Knights? That should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one. It's just gonna be great to see everyone, but there's so many new armies for this tournament. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
So here we go. Here's another ogre army. Here's Warren's ogres for you.
Okay. So we got 2 regiments of Red Goblin rabble. We have a regiment of hunters, love hunters, horde of boomers, 2 warriors, 2 siege breakers, a regiment of chariots, oh man, don't get me started on these crocodile wranglers.
I have a lot of strong words about
this. So good. Like I have in my therapist's office, like all like certain dolls. So I have like the crocodile, like the crocodile wrangler I have from playing Firefight. I have like a couple different units, like show me, Jeremy, where the doll touched you, and crocodile wranglers is one of them.
Yeah.
Sergeant Hero on a chariot. Looks like we have 2, and then we have just a sergeant. Hold on. So we have 1 sergeant mounted on a chariot, and then 1 just regular sergeant.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 2 boomer sergeants. So some close range shooting, and then warlocks.
Yeah.
1 with the one, and then he's got some lightning bolt. So he does have some shooting in this list.
Yeah. It's not. He's got the boomers. Yeah, it's a horde of boomers, and then the boomer sergeants, and warlocks.
Okay.
So a little bit of pressure.
Okay.
Hey, crocodiles. Those things, like, whoa.
Yeah, they're crazy
Huge
good.
pain in the ass.
Big pain in the ass. And then we need to look at and see what he drops in his lower list.
Oh, no, the wrong direction. There we go. 1990. Oh, he went down to 1990.
Okay.
Dropped a warrior horde
Warriors.
and a boomer sergeant.
Crocodile Wranglers. He still have.
Oh yeah. No, he dropped the Crocodiles.
Crocodiles.
Okay. So still, again, keeping the core functionality of the list, losing a couple of the toys.
Now, what does ogres usually not like to play against?
It's a good question. I know I don't like playing against ogres with my rats, but
ogres do not like to play against fast things that when they hit you, they do damage up front.
Yes.
And what is he playing against?
Knights.
He's playing against all the knights, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of chaff. I don't see a lot of ways for him to mitigate those knight charges.
Yeah.
So
two flyers, right? So the general, he's 7 attacks with Crush 2, Thunder 1. The Monarch is let's double check. I think the Monarch usually comes with Slayer. Oh, no, Rally 2. Okay, but that's also great. So those knights are going to be rallied up.
So what I'm saying is, what we love about Kings, right? Anyone can win at any time.
Yeah.
However, because I played against ogres a lot as my base aliens, which I use knights and Elohi and stuff like that. If they don't have any ways to chaff or whatever, you dictate all the charges. And as long as you don't flub, you're picking up 15, 17, you're picking up 15. And then the ogre list sort of just collapses at that point. Yeah. So he's really good at
if you get a couple double charges off and you start rolling things up.
Oh, game over. The ogre list is going to evaporate. So he's just really going to have to use terrain, prevent multi-charges, know that he's going to get charged first.
Yeah.
But how do I make it so that when he does charge me, I fight back and I don't die? Yeah. But that is a lot of speed for the ogre list to deal with. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be a tough one, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think Ren definitely has the advantage.
Yes.
Because it's gonna be easy to get a knight regiment plus the general or plus the monarch into something.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just you never know. You never know, right? That's why you play the games, and it's like there's so much strategy or whatever. But usually, I don't think ogres want to see multiple knight regiments without when they're playing a version that doesn't have a lot of chaff. Yeah.
It's true, and like there's no terrain mitigation on Ren's side, and he can't just line up and charge, right? He's gonna have to generate those multi charges in a smart way.
Yes, because they are 16 attack knights. They are not. Yeah. They are. We're not dealing with heavy shock troop knights, but I'm just talking about like
20
volume and the fact that there is rally that can be supported, that the ogre countercharge kill the knight is not guaranteed,
and they're all Indomitable Will, so
that's what I'm saying. So I think even if he bounces, he can still play through that bounce a little bit with this list, because usually cab that bounces on stuff like this, it gets evaporated, game over. But I think he does have some tools to sort of survive.
There's no bane chance, so if he doesn't kill it on the charge, it's gonna end.
Yes.
There's no crushing in this list outside of the beast.
And the only thing I worry about too is managing board space with a horde of knights can be challenging. Mm-hmm. So and he's got a lot of knights, a lot of footprints that
he can get in his own way. Yeah.
And usually that's what happens a lot. I found with people who play Night Hordes who maybe don't play Night, and he could have played Night Hordes all the time. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying that is something to think about when you are playing Night Hordes. It is a big footprint that you have to make sure you do not get stuck behind something, because that is 335 points that needs to be killing stuff.
Yeah, it has to do work. It's like those ogre legions, right? Like they can't.
Yeah, it's got to do work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so I think Ren definitely has the advantage here, but it's going to be a great game. So moving.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Knights just because I think this one I just got to go with the on paper. And I just think matchup wise, having that much speed against not a lot of chaff, I think is really powerful.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge advantage. So table 11, penultimate table.
The penultimate.
We have Matt Vermeiren's Bloodleaf Express, his Canadian-themed, maple leaf adorned Riftforged orcs. So he has 2 troops of Tundra Wolves,
Love it.
3 legions of Fight Wagons.
Okay.
So he's got Broom Strength, Striding, and Sharpness.
That's interesting.
3 Amberoxises, a Stormcaller, Lightning Bolt, and Veil of Shadows, 2 Rift Forgers with Blade of Slashing, one with Blade of Slashing, both mounted. Thonar, and
God, that guy's annoying.
Oh, so bad.
He's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and the Iron Boots. So you got a regiment of Legionaries, 2 regiments of Legionaries, and Reborn Legionaries. So those are they're rallied up, I think.
I think it's interesting he took the Fight Wagons as opposed to like the Flying Manticores as his chaff pieces. And maybe that's like a model choice or what, you know.
Yeah, I know he had this is like a extension of his orc army. So he had a legion, I think. He started with 1 legion of chariots or Fight Wagons back in the day, and I think he just keeps adding another legion.
And not to say that the Fight Wagons are bad, it's just I think those Flying Manticores is sort of like, I think one of the reasons why you would want to play this army, because they're like cool models and it's like a flying, unique, punchy. But you know what's really good? And I played against it for the first time in Reno. The triple Ambroxes, man, that is legit.
This is a significant amount of shooting in 4 units, right? You have Lightning Bolt 4 plus 3 Amberoxes. That will do work. And then they're scoring, and they're not too expensive, right? So they
the nimble scoring monsters that can also shoot at you, that you can have on to me, like we talk about those Value Town units, to me the Ambrox is totally underrated. I think it's a very awesome unit,
because it's kind of like a Varangur Magus Conclave, but the Conclave is a war engine, so it doesn't have unit strength. People can.
It's a better version. It's a better version of the Conclave.
Yeah, it's a little shorter range, but like you're scoring and harder to kill. So
no, I think it's you lose the range, like you said, but I think what you gain in advance is in the aggregate is a complete package. I think it's just a better like in all the lists I've been messing around with Riftforged orcs, I've been taking these guys after I saw what someone did to me with them. So I was
they're like 24-inch range Lechlodons, right? So everyone loves those. These are just as good.
Yeah.
So to go down to 1995, he loses a Fight Wagon, Legion, and an Amberox, which tracks.
Yeah, it's just right. It's kind of the theme that we've been seeing, minus that losing to both giants in that one list is just like a culling of duplicates.
Yeah, because I think at 2,500, there's the tendency you're either going to lean into what you're already doing at 1995, or you're going to try and do something extra. Most people just try to do more of the same, right, as opposed to something else. And he'll be facing off against Mike LaHaye and his Northern Alliance. Mike and Matt used to live pretty close by, so they used to play pretty frequently. But I think Matt moved out to Peterborough last year, so they probably haven't had a chance to play in a while. So this would be a good matchup for a reunited game for Saturday morning.
Okay,
Reunion,
nice.
That's the word.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
We're going into hour 3. My vocabulary is shrinking.
Well, I think that we've only been at 2 hours and 8 minutes. Is that people can't complain? We're almost done, and we haven't hit 4 hours. So
it's not. Like
I don't want to hear any complaining about it was too long.
Yeah, this isn't a 3-day affair. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's Mike's list. You want to go through that?
Sure. So he's playing Northern Alliance, 2 regiments of Dwarf Clansmen, which I think are a great buy a unit, give them a token, sit them on an objective, 115 for defense 5. Fury
you
Wild
gotta
Charge.
overcommit to kill them, and then
Yeah,
they're
it's
only
just a
100
great.
points. Yeah.
It's a great. I just want to put them in a board corner, and they don't have to
Mhm.
fight anywhere, and they can win you games. Ice Elementals, 2 hordes, and they're running the kind of elite vicious, right? I
Yep.
like that on these 2 guys. We have a horde of snow trolls, which with Dwarven Ale, which I think for these guys, that's what you got to do. You got to give them waiver mitigation.
Absolutely.
We have a regiment of snow foxes. Gotta love the cavern dwellers. We got two
Yeah,
cavern
double.
dwellers. We have the Ice Queen, and she's coming with Conjurer Staff, which plus the Master of Ice works
Yep.
really well together. Surge 8 and Heal 5. I think it's a nice loadout for what she's playing. The Ice Blade Hero Assassin with Wings of the Honey Maze.
Mhm.
I think I don't know if I like that one or I like the shooty one, but I think I like the idea of an assassin flying around killing stuff.
Yeah.
2
7
lords on
attacks with Duelist is no joke.
2 lords on Frostfangs, and a lord on Chimera. So nice. The only thing I miss here, I don't know what you think. I like the guy with the rally banner.
Yeah.
Especially when you have trolls and ice elementals. He's just a nice piece to put in the middle of your battlefield to give you that rally.
Mhm.
But I think this is a solid list. That's the only thing that I would like to have in a Northern Alliance list is when you can put rally into your list. It's really hard not to want to do that.
Yeah. Rally is it's so hard to come by now, and
Yes.
it is very powerful on those medium nerve units.
Yeah, it seems much rarer than it used to be based on the game composition. So when you do have access to it, I think it is incredibly powerful, especially on snow trolls. I mean, it makes them 16-19 defense 5 with regen. That is
Huge.
like you're not killing that unit, you know. So,
Yeah.
but other than that, not to digress, I think this is a solid list. Some cool models, interesting stuff.
And he's been playing it for a while, and I know like he's added the second Lord of Frostfang and the second Cavern Dweller recently, and I think he's gonna do well with it.
Yeah, cabin dwellers are just there's no easy way to deal with that unit.
No. So day 2. Down to 1980.
Dropped a cavern dweller, dropped a snow fox.
Yeah.
I think he had 2 before, right?
Yeah. What else did he drop?
That is an interesting idea. Ben brings up this concept around armory standards giving rallying and not inspire just because no one takes them. I think there's some room there to explore. How do we make BSBs more
well,
more
now
interesting?
that there's no conditional inspiring, and it seems like there's inspiring everywhere.
You don't need a BSB anymore.
Yeah, it just isn't necessary.
Or you know what I would love is make a BSB and make one special banner per faction.
I like that.
So they can't take a bunch
of aura, right?
Yeah, they don't. It's not like you're picking from 1,000, but give each faction just one themed banner, and it doesn't have to be rally. It could do life leech. It could do this, but just to give a faction a themed magic banner, that would be pretty cool. I think.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Crazy. I'm just trying to find the differences.
Well, he lost the cavern dweller, right?
Dropped the Chimera, the Lord on Chimera.
And then the Chimera.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, what am I missing? Yeah, so you lose a big fast attack piece, but the core of the list is the same, and you still have your 2 lords on Frostfang. So.
And it just, to me, it depends on what his battle style is. Like, how does he play the Chimera? You know what I mean? Sometimes dragons like that are pivotal to your battle plan, and sometimes it's just an extra piece.
Yeah, they are tricky to use. Like, it's like they're not. Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, a dragon, it's a big deal," but it's like it's only a big deal if you can actually get
totally. And then you finally, and you finally get it into combat, and it does 3 damage. Yeah. Because it's only rolling whatever 10 or whatever dice to fight. It is not a guarantee to do anything.
And with the Titan basing now, like 75 mils is large enough.
So it's very different.
It's tricky. So it's not a 50 mil flyer, but this is a tough pick. I'm gonna vote for the triple Fight Wagon Legions.
Okay.
I think
I'm gonna go with Northern Alliance just because There are some elements in there. I like the ice element, and I just love this theme. Again, having not knowing a lot of these players, some of my choices are based also on just sort of like what's inspiring me, and I just love the theme of Kislev was always like my favorite army back in the day. So I just
Yes.
love the Ice Queen faux Russian-esque
Mhm.
army. But I think on paper probably we're looking at the legions, but yeah, just to spice it up, I'll go with the Northern Alliance and be wrong.
All right. And we're down to the final.
Save the worst for last. No, I'm just kidding.
Why you gotta be all Raymond's case?
No, I'm
just
not
trying to have fun.
He's just trying to have fun.
So we got Eamon's ogres, and
we're back to the shooters.
Yeah, double. This is just, the Hamilton.
This is
meta.
Crazy.
The Hamilton meta involves
multiple shooter hordes. I love it, man. Like I said, I want to come out and hang out with you guys.
So we got a piercing arrow and blessing of the gods on those hordes. We got 3 siege breaker.
Yeah, I really like it. Piercing or arrow is great value.
Yeah. Then we got Dwarven Ale, Chalice of Wrath, and Staying Stone.
Love it.
All the waiver mitigation.
Yeah.
And you got 2 Berserker Brave regiments. One with Strider, one with Life Leech. And you got the big deal.
Yeah.
You got a giant. Who does not have its upgrade chosen.
I think he mentioned that earlier in the chat that I think he assumed Slayer was the default Eamon. I believe I saw you say.
Sergeant Hero with heavy crossbow and
which I like.
Towering Presence. That's a great table quarter.
It is. You just sit in the back and shoot.
Yeah. Got Ogre Warlock with Lightning Bolt, Boomstick, and Drain Life, and then Nom Nom. So, yeah. That's a
this is a great list. I really like
fair
this
chunk
list.
of shooting with a solid battle line with some
Braves
for chaff. Yeah, it's compact.
Yeah,
but it's gonna hit like a ton.
No, this would be an ogre list I would love to play because it's got a little shooting. It's got the I think the Berserker Braves are great chaff pieces. It's got your core, and I am like Eamon in this. I need my stuff to do things. So like my Ogre Palace Guard, my Siege Breakers or whatever, I give them waiver mitigation because I don't need them to hit a little harder. I need them to hit at all.
Yeah, you need them to be hitting every turn, right?
Yeah, you do not need them to get a lucky waiver and be sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah.
So it's a very solid list.
1995, he loses the Braves. Oof. And the Warlock.
Only 9 units.
Oh, that's 9 units.
I think
18 unit strength. This is good. This is a lean.
Oh, at least a lean, mean killing machine.
Oh,
I probably, Eamon, and I love you, but I probably would have maybe dropped a siege. It's just like not having those Braves is going to be really difficult for you to facilitate some stuff that you want to happen.
Yeah.
But you still have siege breakers. You still have some good tools.
Yeah. It's gonna be tricky.
But it's gonna be a little bit trickier.
It's heavy, but it's
9 drops is just so small.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to play scenario.
Yeah. But I believe in you.
Everything is scoring in ogres all the time, so
oh my god, don't remind me.
All right, so we got Tim Wright. He's Ray Shield's buddy or riding buddy. He's coming down with Ray on Friday night out near Ottawa.
Is Ray running his 2 towers thing?
He is. He's bringing Helm's Deep. Yeah. So
that's what I meant. He's the Helm's Deep thing. Yeah.
Yeah. We're running Helm's Deep on Saturday night.
Man, I miss.
It's gonna be good.
That's awesome. Alex, your role is to give everyone big hugs from me. That is what your role is.
I think that I
love Ray, man. I'm making it so good.
Because I always forget things, but that's gonna be on the top of the list.
Okay, so he's playing Free Dwarves.
Yes, this is Tim's Free Dwarf list.
Okay.
So you want to go through that?
Sure. So 2 hordes of Free Dwarf Shield Breakers. I love these guys. Them going to hitting on 3s. I think it's like a legit unit, and the fact that they gain Scout. I think there's something in Free Dwarves that hasn't been fully explored yet.
Yeah, Scout
like a
and
fast dwarf.
Pathfinder. Yeah,
That's what I think there's something in this faction that I don't think the greater meta has really messed with yet. That's good.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is, but I just have the sense that there's something there. So we got
Yeah.
the 2 troops of Rangers, which Rangers are always good.
Mhm.
2 regiments of Brock Riders, which because of Free Dwarves, right, they're gaining Pathfinder, which is awesome.
Yep.
Hernius is great. Bannock Colarm, which is also good. He's got the Cervi Hegelax on the Hellbrock, so he's got all the
Yeah.
all the juicy flavor.
Yes.
On a he's got a lord on a large beast, and then he picks up the formation, which is what is that? 3 regiments of shield breakers,
Yeah, they gain nimble.
and they gain nimble. And then he's got the Lord has the Wings of Honey Maze, which a Dwarf Lord with Wings of Honey Maze is always cool. Defense
Yeah.
5, 13, 15, you know, fly it in front of stuff.
He's a flyer with brutal, Pathfinder, Scout,
What does
wild charge.
the Lord's Jewel do? Is
I think
that
that's
the Aura Iron Resolve?
um
I forget that. Does someone in the chat know what the Lord's
yeah,
Jewel
he's got
is?
brutal, crushing strength 1, individual inspiring mighty, Pathfinder, Scout, wild charge, and aura iron resolve. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Okay.
So that's
Man, Iron Resolve is dope. So if you can get an
in
Aura of
dwarves.
Iron
Yeah.
Resolve, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like Free Dwarves. I think there's you know, something interesting in this list. So wow, this
That's a
is
lot of
another good
shield
matchup.
breakers. I think this
Yeah.
is gonna be fun. Like
It's a lot of punchy punch.
a lot of like, you know, it's like a compact ogre list versus
Yeah.
this dwarf list feels big.
Because
14
how many
drops,
drops is
20
it? It seems like
14.
yeah. See, it's a lot of
Unit strength
drops.
27. And then like you're saying, those shield breakers, they're, you know, melee 3, Pathfinder, crush 1, like they're a threat, and they're
Yeah.
I've talked about this before, like speed 4 nimble is, it's not speed 8 nimble or speed 10 nimble, but I think there's something there. You can,
It's
if you
not
can get
speed 4 without nimble.
yeah, you know, definitely. But like once things start getting like the battle lines start meeting,
yeah.
I think that will pay dividends.
Well, the horde of shield breakers at hitting on 3s, even with crushing 1 against 15, 17, it's
Yeah,
going to do serious damage.
it's a threat.
So those 2 units, you cannot just go willy-nilly. They
Mhm.
need to you need to deal with them. And then
Yeah.
double throwing mastiffs plus the ranger fire for 1 turn, he will have some shooting, and then the Hernius has got his buff crossbow. So there is a little bit of shooting to keep you know, keep
Well,
respect.
the berserkers will have to respect that at defense 4,
Right? Yeah, even though they're dash 15, right? The Berserker Braves, they're still defense 4. And usually this is one of those things where maybe you keep them hidden behind something else and then double move them out in front.
Yeah.
Chaff play, you know, as
Yeah,
opposed to
exactly.
leaving them
Shoot my defense
in the front.
6. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
you
gonna
might want
be
to hide those guys a little bit and then have them jump out when it's time to chaff.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good match, I think. So what does he drop to get to 1995? So the hordes. What?
Well, now that is really interesting because this is like a completely different list now.
Yeah. So now it's all regiments of stuff. So he's got he drops the 2 of the shield breakers to get down to.
Wow, interesting.
Oof.
This is so far of all the tables we've seen, Alex, this is the one that both armies change from their main list to their 1995 list. To me, is the biggest identity change.
Yeah, because he goes down, like that's 8 unit strength that he loses. That's Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Living dangerously.
Yeah. That's gonna be well, I think we've seen that a couple times where like I think building a 2,500 point list first, or you know, making one that's compatible with 1995 makes you make choices that may not be optimal for 1995.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you're kind of stuck with stuff that you're like, I don't want to do it this way, but I want to make my 2,500 point list this way, which is definitely what I was setting out to do. I wanted people to make lists that they wouldn't normally make. So I think I've succeeded. But this table, this is gonna be tricky. I think the shooters are gonna like again hitting on fives, and
Hmm.
depending on how aggressive Tim is with Scout, and I think it's gonna be
Tim
tricky.
has a lot of bodies, so
Mhm.
scenario wise, what are you guys doing? Are you rolling? Do you know what the first game is
They
going to
don't know yet.
be? Or
I have not picked them yet. I'm
okay,
gonna roll them the day before.
because
I'm not
I
gonna.
could see if it's a objective
Yeah.
situation that Tim would have an advantage because he does have some bodies that he could just sit on objectives and not
Yes.
move. Whereas
Hmm.
I think Eamon needs to be moving up with his force. But
Yeah.
I mean, the other side to that is Eamon does have a lot of scoring characters. So,
Yeah.
um, but what I can say for sure is I love both these bigger versions of their lists,
Yes.
and the second versions make me a little scared,
Yeah.
but
Nervous. Agreed.
make me a little nervous. I think there is something in the free dwarves, but it has not been proven to me yet that someone's
Yeah.
figured it out. And I really love Eamon's list, so I'm going to go
Yeah.
with him just because I think it's to me it's just a straight up solid ogre list. It's got everything. It's got the chaff. It's got this. It's got all the pieces that you want, and it's going to be moving up forward like a relentless
Yeah.
Terminator, just murdering these like
Yes.
hippie dwarves. So,
Yeah. I'm well. If you're going for Amen, I'm gonna vote for the underdog. The
but
little hippie dwarves
yeah,
popping out of the forest. You know,
yes,
stinking of patchouli with their
yes,
incense.
exactly. In their beards. I will
Yeah.
say though, this
It's
I
just a whole army
imagine,
of Billy Cap guns jumping out of
yeah,
the forest.
Aemon will do well on the first day, and then on the second day he will be bathed in his own tears. So
Yeah,
that
I
is
think
my
there's gonna be some heartbreak on
yeah,
day two
that
for
yeah,
that.
that's like my Macbeth on the witches around the cauldron.
Yeah.
Amen. It's like on the first day, I think you're great, but I think on that
Yeah.
second day, you're gonna be like, oh shoot, oh
Yeah.
darn.
Yeah, I think day two is gonna be really fascinating just to see all like how the people who had to like make big sacrifices
How does it
in
play
unit
out?
strength and drops. Like there's a few of them and it's just like, ooh, yeah, it's gonna be tricky. Day two is
Mhm.
gonna be really spicy, I think.
But just as a group of lists, I think
Yeah.
this tournament is going to be so fun. There is so much variety. There's so much theme. There's so much character. You
Yeah.
have cool dudes going there. You have nice guys. I feel the 25 person is like the Goldilocks sweet spot
Yes.
for a tournament
Yeah, I
because you
think
get to
that
hang out with everyone at the same time. You know,
once you get started over 30 people, it's hard to like, talk to everyone and it just feels like
yeah.
you start splitting off into multiple events essentially at
Yes, it
that
starts to
point.
click. You get a little bit of clickifying at that point,
Yeah.
which is only natural once you hit the 30 to 40 range. But that
Yeah.
20 is just like it's you still feel like you're at a 2 day GT, but
Yes.
you're it's a little bit more intimate.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great weekend. I'm really looking forward to it. This is again, this is our largest post-COVID tournament, and I was saying to you before we went live, we had 26 people at the first King Beyond the Wall. 14 of them were from the U.S., and only 12 of them were from the Hamilton, Southern Ontario region. This weekend, we have 24 people, three of which are from Buffalo area. 21 are from Southern Ontario.
No,
So I think
that's so fantastic.
that really shows the growth and the strength of our community here and how we're
Mhm.
like it just keeps getting better. And it's testament to like being able to hold a second 2 day GT for our area in the year.
It's huge, right? You just
Yeah.
first off, you're just trying to get the one, right? Let's get
Yeah.
1 2 day, and then
Yeah.
now you're expanding and growing. You know,
It's awesome.
continuing
Yeah.
all the things you have to do that keep you from producing and editing countercharge shows. So
Yeah.
it's
It
like
keeps me busy.
you're following your quests in life, so you're
Yeah.
doing good.
But now we're at, like I said, the community has matured. John has stepped up. He's TOing some stuff, so it's giving me a bit more bandwidth to do a few episodes here and
Nice.
there.
Well, with
Um,
me, my friend, you have all the bandwidth of my heart anytime.
yeah. So I just want to say one last thing before we close out tonight. Well, thank you to Jeremy for joining me
Oh
for
yeah,
this
it's a
review.
blast.
Thanks for everyone for tuning in. But we still have the Army raffle, Nathan Sarone's Sith themed Empire of Dust.
Oh,
We're
so cool.
raising money for Doctors Without Borders. So every cent that we collect for this is going to Doctors Without Borders. We're already over $1,000. and you have until Sunday afternoon to
Now, can
donate.
someone donate and you ship it? Like, can someone not at the tournament
Yeah,
donate?
absolutely. So
Okay.
Nathan said he will ship it at the winner's expense because it's going to
Okay.
be a bit
Oh,
of
totally. But if
a
someone
chore.
wants to contribute, they can go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
Who's not going to
absolutely.
be there? Okay.
And Nathan said he'll bring it to Crossroads and then all the local GTs to the winner, right? He's not just going to bring it randomly.
And
But,
is this the second time you've done this?
Yeah, last summer Nathan did an Ewok army, Ewok themed goblin army that Mike Rossi won.
That is so cool.
I think we raised $1,250 with that one, and then before that, we did a terrain raffle. Eamon printed, John McCready painted it, and we raised like almost $500.
Dude, I think that's such a unique thing. Go to a tournament, win an army. That is just so, and it's continuing this idea that the secret sauce of wargaming is the community and fellowship that we create. So being able to give back is so important.
Absolutely.
So I just think it's so great.
I think just spreading the positivity of our community into the greater, world. I think
for sure.
We're a privileged group of people to enjoy a hobby like this. So I think, being able to improve other people's lives is an important extension of that.
It's key.
You got to put out what you want in the world. And we're going to do another raffle for King Beyond the Wall in August. Maybe terrain, maybe another army. We'll see what's going on.
So that's going to be your next big event after this is King Beyond the Wall?
In August, we're going to be running it again. Depending, like if we stay at this 20 to 30 person size, we'll do it at Black Knight Games again. If I have heard, rumblings from the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic that they might actually make it up
for that, and then maybe you'll have a little bit bigger numbers.
We might need to come back to the Veterans Association because we can hold about 50 people or so.
And I know you guys alternate. So is this your year to run or your year to play?
This is mine. I'm running this one. John's playing. So yeah, John ran the last one in August where I got to play. Yeah, so everyone who's coming on the weekend, you can give me cash day of, PayPal and e-transfer. You can just contact me through Facebook.
Mark asked when is that, so I'm thinking King Beyond the Wall.
King Beyond the Wall will be probably the second weekend in August currently, but that is to be determined, to be finalized. But
so Mark and his son Colin are playing at the team tournament at Adepticon.
Yes.
So they may come up against me and Mr. FNUF. So it will be it will be
counter charge Civil War.
the counter charge. I'm just gonna tell Rob and tell Mark. I'm like any pain that you guys have as like the married couple, get it out today. Let's just get it all cathartic. Out today. Let's cathartic. Let's get it out on the table.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, Adepticon's a tricky one, but hopefully I'll make it out, at some point. And,
well, it's just the mecca. Anyone who loves miniature gaming should go to Adepticon at least once. It's like a bucket list event. Yeah, as I look at a full, being a bachelor, my kitchen table now is completely filled with Forge Fathers. So because that's what I got to get. I was like looking today, and it's the 1st of March, and I'm like, shit, Adepticon is in March. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get to work on this project.
Are you doing Firefight and Kings of War?
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm borrowing all my Kings of War models, so the only stuff I have, the only stuff I have to get painted is the Firefight stuff. I'm borrowing. I'm either gonna borrow Rob's Ogres, or I'm trying to talk after Riddle of Steel when I went 4-1 and did amazing with my EOD. I'm trying to get Britain to bring his EOD army for me to borrow. Very nice. Yeah, so other than that, it's going to be like a super fun event. But
it's going to be a crazy weekend.
And thank you for all the people who were watching. We were up at 24, 25 people. So that's thank you for listening to us ramble.
Yeah, it was a good night. Thanks, guys. And looking forward to seeing everyone this weekend. Thanks for tuning in, and good luck finishing all your minis.
Oh yeah, Sean says another one of the plenty of time to get on. And this case he's actually true because I have Forge Father, so I have like 12 models in my army.
Oh, so that's doable.
I took all the big armored guys so that I could paint so the army will be good in the first turn, and then once you shoot me, I'll have 3 people left. But
Yeah.
I'm there as to take my firefight crayons and then just have fun.
Yeah, that's how I felt like at the first Infinity tournament. I'm just showing up. I know
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
painful, but I'll just show up and just take
It
part.
is because you don't realize like I'm I'm okay to good in Kings of War, but when I think about it, it's like you've been playing this game for 6 years
Yeah.
against the best players in the world. So of course, like you build those skills. And Firefight, I played on table in person 3 times. So
Yeah. Totally different.
yeah,
It's like you just it takes the learning curve will be quick, but it'll take some time.
yeah. Oh yeah. And when I played Kyle at Riddle, he tabled me in the first game. I killed something in the second game, and in the third game, I almost tied. So
Yeah.
there was like quick progression. But anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Okay.
thanks to everyone for tuning in. Thanks, Jeremy, for helping out.
Yeah, sure.
And we'll see you guys on the weekend. And remember, keep countercharging.
Thanks for listening.